So Yamato's eating what seems to be meat or vegetables on a stick. It's another peaceful day in Wano Par. Did you like that?
Yeah, I wonder what Kinemon is worried about.
I saw a meme saying that Kinemon is wondering, like, I recognize Ulti from somewhere. Huh, weird. I love that, though. I mean, that's kind of true. Like, I don't think Kinemon fought Ulti at all.
Yeah, yeah. Did they see? They didn't see the entire Tobiropa, right?
I don't think so. Yeah, the Tobiropa, they're kind of like, sparse throughout Onigashima. Kinemon just went straight to the rooftop.
I mean, I was still mind blown by the reality that Big Mom and Yamato never were in the same room. They might as well have just been Yamato could be Big Mom. Eventually, there's a timeline where Yamato becomes Big Mom, right?
Where Yamato becomes Big Mom.
She has 68 children.
I don't think so.
No?
No, Big Mom's body was always kind of built for it because she's just so much larger. Yeah, Yamato's bigger than your average woman, but I don't think Yamato's gonna be pumping out that many kids.
If she's following the footsteps of Odin, it's in the cards.
Odin had two kids. I could see Yamato having two kids too.
No. Let's go back to year 8 of Odin's
Yeah,
life.
but year 8,
the harem
Odin,
war.
He wasn't spreading seed though.
And Yamato didn't get the chance. Kaido stunted that for 28 years by locking her up. She's just did the pilgrimage. She's not exactly doing everything in the book by order. So it's when's her harem coming? Oda? If she's really falling in the Odin's us.
Us! Part of the fan base! She already has a harem! We're already going to Yamato!
Yo, that's crazy. The fan base.
You think I want more competition out here, Par? Come on!
Oda starts going, Noda Skywalker, the 5 gifted subs, you get to have a kid with Yamato. Just he starts doing it subathon style.
I love it, dude. Imagine if Oda live streamed these chapters. It would be so degenerate. Not even from us, right? But just from people in general. Oda's thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Oh, you want me to draw Yamato's boobies bigger? Okay.
Why does Oda sound like that? That's not...
It's Japanese, man.
That wasn't Japanese. That was straight up Kano Kingdom, bro.
Kano Kingdom? Chinese?
Oh, whoa!
Jeez, Bar.
I said fictional place.
As an Asian, I can use these accents to my advantage.
Yeah, the heritage, some would call it.
Watch out. The Southeast Asian's going to come out any minute now. The jungle monkey. Woo! It's going to be crazy.
It'd be funny if Oda, was a live streamer and he played with the spoiler community. So he drops the hints. He listens to spoiler communities. He's 10 subs and I'll break Sanji's leg.
Hey guys, what's your favorite chapter? 277? Okay, I'm gonna go to that chapter. I'm gonna pull in a small reference. Just watch. You guys are gonna love this. No, what they should do, they should live stream it and it's Oda's office, but the camera is so far away you can't tell exactly what he's working on or drawing. So even though you see him drawing, you're wait a minute, that was a left stroke with the brush. I think he's drawing Momonosuke.
Dude, there's a future where that is the meta. Manga
that could be the meta, yeah.
Money. They blur the certain part. If I was here, this is the digital manga. I blur it out, but I'm doing shit, and people are oh my god, what is he drawing? I can't tell.
I think we would know what it is. So if we're just seeing the hand movements, I think we would know this is Yamato. Not even joking. I think we know it's Yamato because of the Kanabo. And, of course, the Wano. We'd also get, the Wano arch. So, okay, I think this is Wano.
Every time Oda draws an hourglass with melons on top, it's
I wonder who this is. It could be Nami. It could be Robin. Yamato. Is this Shaki? It's one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which empress is this?
And then the minute he draws like a wacky body style, it's like, okay, this could be anybody in One Piece. Which guy is this?
Yeah, he draws a barrel, and it's like, is this a buccaneer or just an ugly woman? Like, which one is it? Like,
Or is it an actual barrel?
Kokoro's back? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yamato's cover page story is over. We can stop beating around the bush. How much did you like this?
You know what? I like. I think this is like maturing. I feel like the cover story had the same life cycle as the arc. Is that not accurate? As like, that's kind of nuts,
That's
right?
accurate. You know, and guys, people hate the Wano hate, right? I feel like it's weird because Wano hate was generally accepted, which I people are saying, Sai, don't use the word hate. Okay, the Wano dislike, the distaste, that was commonly accepted after Wano. But now that it's been like 2 to 3 years, it's like, okay, now it's no longer cool, old man, to make fun of Wano. Whoa, wait a minute. It's one of the goats. It's like, okay, sure, you know, everybody has their own taste. But I agree, you know, Wano wasn't always my favorite arc. I loved Onigashima. I think Onigashima was when it kicked off. But everything before that, I didn't really care for. That's actually when I stopped, like, it's not like I stopped reading One Piece, but I was like, maybe if I just skip a week, you know, I'll just catch up like next week. Yeah, Yamato cover page story,
To that point,
kind of the same.
Act 1 and 2, I technically skipped that because I was anime only. And then when the manga got to chapter 1000, which is like the start of Rooftop, which I
Yeah.
didn't know, that's when I started. And I knew like I knew of the manga, but like in Dressrosa or when I was watching, there'd be times when I tap into the manga, see what's actually going down, and I understood fully why the manga is better as a consuming experience than the anime, especially post time skip. But like that, like when you think about it, I started chapter 1000 and I skipped the manga or the anime. And I think the anime was around like Okobore Town in the anime. And so like I basically skipped act 1 and 2 of the anime and the manga because I just binged read it. And then,
That's how it be,
I got where I
man.
was. Yeah. So it's kind of funny when you think about that being my experience. Like, I'm not a defender of Wano. I like Wano for bits and pieces. But
Same.
like, it's like because it's like Enies Lobby. Enies Lobby is people's number one arcs of all time, and I completely understand why. It's awesome, cool. There's so much happening, but the recognition of Enies Lobby being within the Water 7 like arc
I
saga, whatever
loved
it
Water
is.
7.
And Water 7 is like where Act 1 and 2 of Wano is, where it's like settled down. There's a lot of build up. There's like lore. We're setting up the Usopp Luffy stuff. We're setting up the Frankie stuff. We're setting up Kabotterman stuff. We're setting up Robin stuff. We're setting up a bunch of things. Water 7, though, in reality was more condensed, in a lot of ways, but it was not super condensed. Like, what was it, like chapters like 320-ish, 324, I think, to 360 something, so like 40-ish chapters. And then no, it is condensed, because then Enies Lobby is from 370-ish to 418, 420, 421. So it's like about 40 to 40. It's like 50-50. Whereas Wano, it's kind of the same thing, right? Was it chapter 908 to when we get to Onigashima is like 970. So that's like 70 chapters. And then 30 plus to 1050, it's like 80 chapters. So it's 50-50. But it's like, the act 1 and 2, it just felt so much more extended and slower and whatever. But there's a lot of moments in there that I do like. It's just that the anime was jarring, and then when you go 100, 200 chapters out, it's like, did all these things matter? Are they mattering? I don't know. And then you go to the Yamato cover story, which is what we're talking about, and it's like, truthfully, guys, truthfully tell me what we got out of the 40 volumes out of. The most important thing is the Kozuki Moria thing, which is like, I don't know if I needed that from the Yamato cover story, you
It's
know?
huge. I love Kozuki Moria, but that alone, hey, as the Moria fan here, it just doesn't carry Yamato's journey all the way through. It doesn't give you the excitement that we were looking for. Considering what is here, I know people are saying, I saw one comment that was like, people just want action. It's like, that's not it. It's just that there's so many people here in Wano, around Wano, that could come to Wano even, that didn't make an appearance in the cover page story. Was the bar set too high? I wouldn't even say so, because they are relevant characters, right? Jack is missing, the rest of the Tobiropo is missing, Kaido and Big Mom, Fate unknown. We have Blackbeard, who last left off saying, I'm, ancient weapons. And then Caribou went there saying, I know the location of Pluton. It's in Wano. And then Crossguild wants to find the One Piece sword, wants to find the One Piece. There's genuinely so many people that could have shown up here that didn't. It's not like, we want to bring up like a bunch of like randos. Like, no, that's not the case. It's like, it's literally right there. It's like the Vince Mo cover page story, but us also saying, hey, let's not find out about Caesar despite him being on the island and being Jerma relevant, right? It's like, let's get the Jerma cover page story, but not get Judge in it for some reason. Like, these are characters that are integral to Wano and the future of the story. And then even Yamato, right? A lot of people are saying that, we could end off with Yamato leaving Wano, because that was the goal, right? Yamato wanted to travel around Wano and then leave. Secondarily, she also wanted to protect Wano, but Momonosuke tried to prove that, no, we got it, Yamato. We could fight Green Bull, blah, blah. So Yamato kind of fell back on, I want to travel like Odin, which, boom, travel successful. So what now? We didn't really get anything. Like, we really did just go all around Wano, and that's it. Ulti page 1, I thought that was okay. The Who's Who thing was funny for a minute, and then that was kind of it. I'd give that one like a solid 7 out of 10. Moria 10 out of 10, but that's like 3 weeks of cover page stories. And then after that, we have like, what? A year and a half of nothing? Yamato fighting kids with rocks, people eating with Yamato fighting the Yokozuna's brother, Yamato. We started with Onigashima sinking. Who pushed it off? Remember, we were like, we ended it with it sinking, and then we're going to end with it flying in the sky because Kaido's coming back. Like, I don't know, man. Like, what happened with that thing? There's so many, like, unanswered questions and doors Oda hasn't gone through. And, people are going to say Sai's being negative. That's fair. But I also want to say this. I am also semi-optimistic. Because when we leave Elbaf, I think the reason why we're not seeing any of this is because Oda could just tackle it later. Like, in the actual manga, maybe that's the
You're
thing,
hitting
right?
me with the Wano cope? With the Wano
see, this is Wano cope. I am a positive man deep down. I'm positive. When we leave Elbaf, maybe we get a chapter in Wano where we do get these updates. And the reason why Oda didn't want to do it in the Yamato cover page is because he can't give us dialogue in here. Maybe Kaido and Big Mom's introduction is so big, he just wants to give them dialogue bubbles instead of just saying, like, here's Kaido and Big Mom coming out of the ground. Like, yeah, that's my cope. I think we'll just get a Wano chapter later. But all in all, I wish Wano was not peaceful. I've said that before, I'll say it again. I do not care for civilians. I wish it was a battleground, make it exciting, make my heart pump a little bit. Even hit us with, like, I don't know, updates on other people. They could have done the whole thing with, like, Jerma, where it's like, out of nowhere, here's Vagabond. Like, you could have done that with, like, some of the Tobiropo. That'd be kind of cool. Like, if we just spent 2 weeks with the other Tobiropo members, I think we'd be kind of solid with that. But, dude.
I think, like, for me, it, like, the reveals that we got, right? They didn't have to be here. Like, what was, like, Yamato's cover story? There's not really anything. What did we learn of Yamato out of this? Did she develop? Did she have a character arc? Did she learn anything? Did she achieve anything? Did she get anything? And I'm not saying she has to, but, like, that in and of itself means, okay, we're here for other things. Okay, fine. Now let's look at Wano because she's traversing Wano. Is there anything innate to Wano that you couldn't really assume on its own? The beginning of this cover story and the end of the cover story, there's nothing new with Wano other than the Who's Who situation. Now the Who's Who situation, let's take that away for a moment because like when I say the Wano thing, right? Like I think the major thing is like who are the daimyo? Okay, cool. They're the people we know in places that could have been one. I mean, the way we found out about the daimyo.
Oh my
was
god, I
just
forgot about the
one
reveal.
and like that is a sort of big thing, right? Knowing
I
Nekomamushi
guess.
isn't there. So okay, we could do that in one, and the like the who the Yakuza, we could do that in another. We don't even technically know what Nekomamushi is, but like, okay, let's recognize that. When we go back to the last cover story that we had, the German one, which I remember I think it was just before the Who's Who stuff. I was like more critical of this cover story thing, and I was like, comparatively, it's like it's kind of on an awkward pathway compared to the previous ones. And for me, before the Who's Who thing, I was like, I feel like we're getting like a flatter situation, which ironically we got. And the crescendo that climax we ended up getting was again the Moria thing, which that one is it's cool, but the reason why it doesn't feel in place is because Yamato doesn't care.
She doesn't know what to do with that information. It's like for us, that's great. But Yamato, yeah, she doesn't really interact with Kozuki Mori. She paid her respects, but I don't know. Like, That's why when we got that reveal, I didn't believe in this, but I loved the idea. But they're like, oh, Moria's coming to Wano. And it's like, you know what? If that happens, sure, maybe Yamato has a very different interaction with Moria than the Straw Hats did. Kind of like how Buggy interacted with Gaimon, right? And they're like best friends, but they're like, oh, wait, hate Straw Hat, though. Like, imagine that. Like, Moria comes here, it's like, I hate Straw Hat, but hey, Yamato, you're a cool person. You know what?
Yeah.
I hate your dad, but you're kind of okay. Like, that would have been fun. A lot of fun.
Right.
None of that.
And then when we come to the page one and ulti situation, which again, that's the Who's Who, that's the climax. Like, that was such a condensed thing that it makes the outside of it like it almost makes you wonder why that part was relevant, because largely that had nothing to really do with the pilgrimage. You know what I mean? Like, it just forced her along the way, but you could have had that story completely taken out of the Wano thing, the Wano updates and whatever, and it just felt weird to have them cohesively put in place because you had to suspend the disbelief so many times in that sequence, and it's largely because it was inside the pilgrimage when Oda could have just put us into that situation and we wouldn't have had to be like, how did someone steal and run halfway across Wano from Yamato and Speed? How does that work, Oda? There's so many. How did Hold'em manage to Yamato grabbed Tama, and then how did Tama knock out Hold'em? There's so many things that you have to suspend belief for.
I love that. The whole like, oh, but Tama, she's a Kunoichi now, guys. She's been training for this. I'm like, okay, guys, but she's still like an 8-year-old girl. She overpowered Hold'em. I get it, right? It's a feel-good moment. I would love if Tama beat Hold'em, but I just feel like now we're doing like the Boruto thing. Like, okay, this guys, she's like literally like 7 years old. she's manhandling like a 30-year-old with a smile devil for you guys. This is impossible.
Yeah, and like
it feels good, but like it's like one of those kid movies, right? Like a Pixar movie. Like, oh, she's about to get kidnapped. She's a 5-year-old girl, but now she has superpowers. It's like,
right.
It feels good, sure, but I don't know, man.
A cover story that I really love. Not because I love the cover story sequence, but more so because of like how much we got from it after the fact, which was Beige's cover story. In Beige's cover story, we go back and Dressrosa is actually not okay because they have
the germ pirates,
pandemic.
Right?
The the kiss disease is spreading, and they have to they're like a bunch of people are about to give it to them and then to fix it, which is like so random and weird and lame. Like, does that have meaning or whatever? But like that is a purpose. It's like, oh my god, Dressrosa is not okay after the Straw Hats. Let's see what Beige is happening. Wano was peaceful, is peaceful, was peaceful, still is peaceful. Dressrosa at least had a problem that they ended up solving, and then Sword, which we didn't know at the time, was introduced. It's like, oh, these are
Yep.
just random background Navy crew.
And
And
here's
it's like,
Prince
nope,
Bruce.
nope, they're not. 400 chapters later, nope, those are actually the captain of swords. And it's like, oh my god, this is actually so
Yeah.
important. You don't have any entry for anything like that.
You
in the
forgot to
Yamato Garp
mention,
story.
we also got Pound in there. We learned his fate. We also got Lola. We had a wedding. And, you know, the reason I say I don't like it is just because I don't like Beige and his crew. But generally, though, it is a good cover page story. And that's the thing, right? People, if they want to say we're negative, sure. But you got to admit, me and Pa are pretty positive about most other cover page stories. Like, I mean, ask us about most of them. Like, kind of love them. CP9 even. Like,
yeah, their cover story is crazy.
Their cover story is great. And the
that
Vinsmoke one, for
story,
example, go back to those. Me and Pa were singing its praises. You know, we're not just being negative to be negative. Like, it's we know what we like, guys. I don't know. Like, this was a very C tier cover page story as a whole, in my opinion.
And the beige cover story, right? Like, or not the beige cover, the CP9 cover story. That one had a slice of life kind of esque thing that Yamato's did. But that made sense because that was teaching us who their characters were outside of
we never saw that.
the Navy, individually how they were. Yeah, that's something we didn't know who, like how they actually were. And whether or not they are lying or whatever, we saw them fight anybody who threatened their peace, which is like they were taking care of themselves, and then I think they like paid the doctors in full because and they were working like 9-to-5 jobs so that to afford
like
Lucci's
legitimate jobs.
Treatment. Like Kaku ended up becoming a playground, literally letting kids play on him so he could afford.
Which is a callback to Zoro, who said, "Hey, you should, you know, the zoo's open," and then Kaku literally capitalized on his fruit, kind of like Zoro said.
Right. And then pirates ended up coming, and they literally in the story killed them. And they were like, oh, we have to leave because now the citizens are going to think we're monsters. And citizens like horrified because you just see Lucci standing over like the beheaded pirates. And they're like, what? This is ultimate justice. And they're like, shit, we get it. They can't handle it. Let's go. And then as they go, they manage to get back to their island.
Oh,
and then they slaughtered the Navy and world government who were chasing them.
You missed it. There was a little girl who didn't mind that they killed them. That was the main takeaway. Like, the villagers were scared, but there's like a little girl who was like, you know what? Thank you. And then she handed Khalifa a flower, and all of CP9, they were kind of shocked and happy. They're like, whoa, what? We're being thanked for killing a pirate? Which makes sense. I mean, I thank them too. If somebody was like threatening my family, then hey, if somebody else like Batman comes in and breaks their neck, I'm gonna be like, hey, Batman, you wanna drink on me? Like, yeah, like that little girl gave them the flower, and they seemed genuinely shocked by the kindness. And it's like, I'm telling you, man, CP9's cover page story, top tier. And then, like you said, we, you know, going back to their homeland, beautiful stuff.
Yeah, and like I would almost say like the Kozuki Moria thing felt similar to Anel's cover story, where a lot of it's kind of cryptic to us because it's like on the moon, and then we're going to Burka on the moon, and we see the hieroglyphs, and it's like 3 cover stories, and it's like that's important for Anel, and Anel doesn't really understand it. And like that's kind of like what it felt with Yamato with the Kozuki Moria thing. But the hieroglyphs, that's like so insanely important for the readers that it like.
Oh wait! Do not diss Kozuki Moria though. That's important for the readers.
No. I agree. But what I'm saying is that like for the character to see that and be confused, that makes sense because it's like prior Void Century stuff. It's like something Frankie's seeing the mural, right? It's like, of course he doesn't understand what that is, right? Whereas like Yamato kind of should know who Moria is. He died while on the thing, like died while to her dad and stuff and like that. But then she in the story, she doesn't recognize the thing. And then it's almost like, wait, we could have got that Kozuki Moria stuff so many other ways. It didn't have to be like from the least valuable narrators, right? Because we got it from Cho, one of the Yakuza members,
who nobody cares about.
We don't care about. and then Yamato, who doesn't know about the situation, and then Alti and Page One, who are building a Kaido shrine outside of the thing. They're just like lobby. And it's just like, whoa, guys, what are we doing? You know what I mean? And it's like, hold on, this Kozuki Moria thing's really important, and we glaze by it. But when we go back and look at the Yamato cover story, like when we say like, oh, like when we try to apply the Wano cope to it, Wano cope fits with the Wano thing. I don't think it fits with the cover story because it's like, I think the main thing is going to be the Onigashima stuff. Like the placement of it, that was probably really important for something later on. But again, as I said, we don't even know how they did that. Like,
who did it even? Like, was that on purpose? Was it somebody else?
That would have been insane.
Why did they do that? I don't get why they got. It was okay. Oppression aside, right? Kaido's home base aside, it was a decent home base. Like they could have used it.
Well built.
Minatomo's
grand.
The lore for Onigashima, right? We still don't know the lore. Remember Marco? Oh, so that's what they're calling it now, implying it had a different name. Like that was gonna like come in at some point. What's the name? What's the previous name, dude? I don't know. We know nothing about this thing.
Probably didn't even get kidnapped. He was probably just upset that they just destroyed his life work, and he's like, guys, it's not the building that's evil, it's the guy who lived in it. And he's just sitting there like,
oh my god, that's like the Tom thing, right? Like, oh guys, you know, like it's not a pirate ship because it has a skull and flag. I mean, he did say that actually. He mainly said like ships weren't bad inherently. It's like I don't know.
And that's 100% true with the building. It's like, I get it, it's big and scary, but you guys didn't stop Kaido, so I had to build it. But the stairs are still good, guys.
And then Onigashima existed before Kaido too, so it's like I don't know, take it back, man.
Yeah. Honestly, it's impressive that Minatomo built that in 20 years. Like,
oh yeah, built like all the interior.
Yeah. Well, no, apparently he built the castle. Like the entire thing is like his schematics. Yeah.
Minatomo, he's got to like, I don't know, he's got to be listed on some kind of list. World's strongest craftsman or something.
Yeah, he's our Pokemon, right? Like he's like Officer Jenny, Nurse Joy. He got Minatomos out in the world too, right?
Yeah. He's got like two Minatomos. I hope we meet a third.
Yeah, the power of three, the rule of three, right, Oda?
And we could learn that what Moria has him in his crew or something, like the hidden member, Minatomo. He helped build Thriller Bark.
Yeah, exactly.
He caught fire,
something like that.
I mean, I guess one good thing we got from the cover page story. I mean, we got to chill with Sukiyaki for a little bit. People really enjoyed that conversation.
Dude,
he's not even in the final thing, dude. What the hell?
We were struggling to put. Oda didn't even make it easy for us to enter Sukiyaki in the conversation. He made it pretty hard, but it fits so well. There were so many different things that were just like, what is Sukiyaki doing? Like,
we don't know. I love the moral quandary that Sukiyaki came to at the end of Wano. Just, can I even face the Wano citizens anymore? Do I deserve to be with Yori Momonosuke? And then the very next chapter, I'm your grandpa. It's like, whoa, that's so quick. I loved it. I mean, as a Sukiyaki hater, I think he should be there. I think the asking part was kind of silly, but
I like the Scabbards just being like, oh, you were keeping a secret? I didn't.
Yeah, we knew all along. And then Kinemon, the classic, like, huh?
Yeah.
Sukiyaki, that was you? I love that joke. Will never gets old.
Sukiyaki tell Momo that their like water crisis is over because they're surrounded by fresh water. One day that's
something you take with you to your grave.
Yeah. Sukiyaki should have, it's like one of those things where like Sukiyaki should have just like, he should have disappeared now. Like he should have said hi and then acted like, oh, I can finally die in peace knowing that Wano's safe.
You know what'd be so solid?
What?
Sukiyaki says, to atone for my sins, what I'm going to do is I'm going to gather the Kozukis from around the world. And then that's where we get like the Mori reveal. Like imagine that. Like he comes back, like we start off by him saying, I'm going to gather the families. And then it ends with Moria showing up. You know how sick that would be?
That is actually solid. that is I appreciate that, but I want to take that one step further, and I almost wonder why Robin hasn't done this, and like, we don't have to start this conversation, but I'd be like, okay, first of all, Sukiyaki needs to teach Momo and Hiyori the poneglyphs and give them their, like, make them true Kozukis, because they don't have that yet, allegedly. And the other part is, yeah, like, go around getting a Kozuki family going, like collect them like, Pokemon, and then teach them poneglyph things. Because it's like, at this point, you guys are clearly against the world government. Like, there's no reason to
no reason to hide that.
Yeah, there's no reason to walk a tightrope right now. Like, your lineage is literally counter to it reflectively, and you should just, bolster up a little bit, right? Like, and I was saying that with Robin. I had a realization. I was like, the world government's running after Robin. If Robin really wanted to be evil, like, as she grew up, she could have like when she was with the family, right? And the family like gave her up. She could have put like, oh, they're studying poneglyph text, and then they would have caught their ass too.
Yeah, you should leave like how to decipher the poneglyph, like little notes everywhere. Just spread it around.
But then when she found the Straw Hats, I'm like, she could teach Frankie and Nami at least, because Nami kind of needs it. Like, when they got to Zoe and they're like, Robin, can you read it? And like, Nami's supposed to be also like one of the geniuses too, because like how like smart she is. And so I honestly think that like Nami probably could learn the poneglyph text, and it would just be like,
share the knowledge, man, just in case something bad happens to Robin. Yeah,
and it's like it could be one of those reveals, right? Like, it is one of those things where it's like, when Nekomamashi goes like, oh, the world's going to go after you, Robin, and she goes, don't worry, I have my friends, right? And it's like, it could be even more than that. It's like, don't worry, they all can read it,
except for Luffy.
Like, yeah, like, Robin gets captured by CP0 and Onigashima or Kaido Big Mom, and they're like, now they can't read the poneglyphs. And then Robin's just like, you dumbasses, it's been 2 years. You don't think that I taught someone else how to read it? You don't think the Revs know how to read poneglyph text? And it's like, even that, right? Because that's where
Revs didn't even know ancient weapons existed, guys. I don't know, man.
That's the moment when I stopped thinking about this. I was sitting there yesterday. I was like, wait a second. The Revs should know how to read poneglyphs right now. And then I was like, Wave Dragon just was like, shit, brother. Ancient weapons are new stuff. So I was like, fuck. There's no shot they know how to read poneglyphs. But like, that would be such a crazy reveal. Koala goes like, yeah, we taught our fisherman karate, and she taught us poneglyphs. Woo! And then the Revs become like they have to be erased. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely. The cow has to go. The egg guy has to go. The bird, the one-armed girl, everyone has to go. It's the Ohara all over again. And that would be an awesome reveal if, like, Robin goes through Vegapunk, I carry the will of Ohara. And Dragon could say the same thing too. You know what I mean? He goes like, we are carrying the will of Ohara. Try to erase us all. Some shit like that. But like,
we are Ohara.
Yeah, they take off their masks. It's just Clover.
Yeah, they're all cosplaying Clover.
Yeah,
oh, man.
Or even better, they just have like a giant ship or cart they lug around. Dragon reveals it, the books of Ohara, and then it's just all the books there, and then you just have a kind of just blast it, and then
even better, it's like a printer, and they're just printing the Ohara books.
Yeah, just on repeat. Oh god. Oh, that's expensive. But
yeah, it's
funny.
something, man. Like, this cover page story, at least it gave us a good laugh, right? I think that's what I fall back on. We got a really good laugh out of it.
Yeah. There was some good times.
And I do like Yamato, so spending time with her, A1 as well.
Always 2 good points to every cover story, that's for sure.
Exactly. That's my takeaway. At least we got to stare at Yamato for a little bit more.
All right, we stare. Yeah, I just yeah, two good points.
Yamato's great goon bait.
Yeah,
So, onto the chapter, we see that Rox and Garling are locked in a high stakes extreme diff battle in the Northwest. They're saying send backup for Rox. Crazy stuff, you know, Rox needing
four rocks.
assistant. Yeah, Rox needs assistance to deal with Garling. Dirty
That's
pirates, huh?
oh,
Hate to see
that's
it.
who's saying. That's
Yeah,
wild.
yeah, yeah.
That the context of this is that the Rocks pirates know who Saint Garling is, so definitely makes sense that they're the ones
His
who saying
name,
it.
it's renowned through the world. It's something.
Yeah, and this isn't the Navy per se.
No, it's not the Navy. The Navy would never
Yeah,
send
yeah,
backup to Saint Garling. He's known as the
yeah.
1v1 man. The only way he would lose
No,
if it isn't like a 1v1. I mean, come on.
it is funny though that I say that because it does sound like the Celestial Dragons or the Holy Knights don't know who Rox is. It's because later on they're like, this guy's really strong. And I'm like, yeah, you guys should know that. He killed an admiral. He raided Meridra. Like, did Emu not tell the Holy Knights that this guy came? Did Gonko not
Well,
say
here's
who
the
this guy
thing.
is?
They got bigger fish to fry. Why would you pay attention to this guy?
The only fish to see Emu, and yet Gonko and Emu are like, "Shh, keep it a secret, keep it a secret to the Holy Knights is wild to me.
Yeah, we don't ask those questions, Par. So we see that Shaki and Rayleigh are running off. The Rocks pirates are defending them, like Shiki, for example. We also see
There's a
Ganzui's
barrel
legs. What's up?
Who's in that barrel next to Rayleigh? That's a precariously perched. Imagine the next panel, Rayleigh trips on that barrel.
And it's a person in there.
Yeah, it's Gaimon.
Yeah, Gaimon's like long lost cousin, Barrelmon.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like Digimon characters. Barrelmon, no!
just because his name's Gaimon, he's Digimon reference now.
I
That's
guess
so funny.
I've been getting into Digimon.
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah,
All
it's
because Lilithmon. That's so
uh-huh.
fucking crazy.
Very, very mid-series, but they got some fire mons, man. They got some fire ass mons. Goonbait.
Yeah. I was all over Agumon, but you all over Lilithmon. Crazy.
You know how it is, brother. So Ganzoi, you see that panel of him? It looks like he's doing a coup de vente.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
right? It looks like he's shooting like a missile out of his arm, which I doubt is the case. I bet he's just punching or he's posing up. But he's striking that Frankie pose, man.
Yeah, maybe he's blocking cannon fire.
Oh. Another theory that I've heard is that he's potentially just doing a Kamehameha.
Okay, yeah, why not? I mean,
yeah,
we still
why
don't
not?
know.
I love that. Just no, yes, no, just why not? Yeah, sure, he's doing it. Yeah.
Like, you know, it'd be such a funny thing for that. We go to Thriller Park and he like is posted up like doing comment, and it's like shit. He might as well be, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the Emmett thing where he's like setting up this crazy right arm attack, but it's been 800 years, so it just doesn't work. In his case, he's a zombie, so it just doesn't work. But like, no, he's straight up doing comment. You know, I will say it can't be he's rocking cannonball thing because that's like a muzzle fire, right? Like it does seem like there's like it's not something exploding on him. It's something that's like being projectiled out. It does, you know, there is something there.
The world exists, which we see his legs here, and I think that pretty much confirms that you know, Dr. Hogback did get freaky with them and gave him the bottom half of an elephant.
Nah, he just didn't. He died. Sigh. Come on. He could have a Zoid, and he
still could have a Zoid.
Isn't it he's not transformed, and when he died in his transformation.
Oh, now you're memeing. No, see, people don't see the Hogback vision. They're like, Basai, when you die, your devil fruit, it goes away. Guys, the point is that Dr. Hogback would be like, well, he was an elephant man when he was alive. Let me just give him the bottom half of an elephant. That's the vision, guys. Like, Dr. Hogback's a weirdo. Like, are we really just it's like the Gil Bastard thing, right? We see him with 2 arms, 4 arms, and then at Thriller Bark he has 4 arms. It's like, okay, wait, did he have a devil fruit and then Hogback just gave him arms? Did he always have the arms? Like, we don't really know.
I think
it's not as straightforward
Dr.
as people make it
Hogback
seem sometimes.
was just being corrective of Oda's anatomy. He's just like, this top half can't be supported by anything other than an elephant.
Yeah.
Like, these
those legs, they're way too small.
Has this guy ever been to the gym? Who is this guy?
He's got some crazy small, like, look at his biceps, dude. Like, they're as big as his body, and then his legs.
They're bigger.
It's like, it's literally the One Piece meme of like, oh, how do you draw a guy? Well, make sure they never hit legs. That's literally him, dude.
Yeah. And I think like Dr. Hogback literally he couldn't like, as a zombie, there was no shadow that could support the upper weight. So he's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna have to put an elephant down here. He tried a lion, horse, you know, all the animals. It was literally just an elephant. That's all it was. Straight up anatomy.
Which, so do you think that he gets his body cut in half, or no, do you think it's just like support? Because at this point, like, I don't really care too much, but it's like, I do kind of wonder, though. Like, does it get cut in half?
It would be funny if Dr. Hogback wasn't creative, and it was kind of like archaeology, where it's like, have you seen
Robert Irvine?
The famous volcano erupting? Oh my God, what volcano is it? And then there's 2 people found together.
Yes.
And
okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And so originally we thought it was
they were lovers, right?
A guy and a girl. Yeah, but recently it's found out that they're just 2 dudes, and so people are just like, they were gay. And then they're like, and so, you know, gay stuff back then, which is a thing, but people are like, it was 2 friends who were just like, hey man, we're about to die.
We're about to die to a volcano. Huddle up.
Yeah, and it's like, there's nothing wrong with them just being, and I'm not saying it like they couldn't be. I'm just saying it's crazy assumption that like, hey, I could have seen myself being like, hey man, like, I don't know, hold me, brother, like straight up Drake and Josh meme, right? Like,
or maybe they're like praying, you know, right? Like, hey, let's pray together and see if we could just survive this.
And what I mean by that, it's like, you know, archaeology is a developing understanding. Like, more you understand about context and world and everything, you can develop a better understanding. We did that for dinosaurs. And so, like, maybe his upper body was just next to an elephant. Dr. Hogback's like, maybe this is how he was originally like.
Dude, that's what I was thinking too. Like, he dies next to an elephant. I think that he was actually, it wouldn't even be a mink, right? Technically, no.
Yeah. No,
it wouldn't be a mink. It's like, this is
a what island this guy's from.
Yeah, Hogback says, the world of One Piece is vast. And he just ends it there.
I'm not gonna judge him.
Dude, if I saw an elephant person, I'd judge
God's creations.
You know, people, they like to see themselves as colorblind's the wrong way to say it. They're like, I'm not racist. But if you watch like the One Piece live action, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'd be a little bit racist. You see those fishmen, dude? Oh my God, they're horrifying.
Why are they wearing
finished? I finished watching it again the other day, just rewatching for fun, and it was a painful adventure with me and my wife. But let me tell you, the minute we got to Fishman Park with Arlong and the boys, I was like, yo, like, I'd be hella racist, man. These guys are creepy. You see Chew? Just walking around like stone-faced, like they're over here, you know, breathing on land. It's like, yeah, no, I wouldn't mess with that.
Yeah,
discriminate all the way. These guys are scary.
It's kind of funny because like smell is one of those crazy things that is emphasized about fishermen. Like when in Charlotte's, like, you know, there's racism, but then there's also just reality. It's like, yeah, they're fish, so it's like they're smelly. But then it's also funny because I don't know what would, like, I think we joked about it, like, who smells worse on the crew, Jinbei or like Luffy, Zoro, who never shower, right?
Jinbei.
And it's like it might just be Jinbei, but like I also don't know, maybe because fresh fish doesn't smell, you know.
And
what
a lot of
like,
fishes you know, they're somewhat oily too. Like they have their own oils that they produce. It's like, yeah, they might just smell naturally awful.
Maybe Charles is onto something. Maybe because like when you catch a fish, they're not smelly. It's when they start like, when it's fresh, it's crisp. You know what I mean? Even
Yeah.
iced, if you kill it iced, supposed to not have the smell. It's as they decompose. So maybe Charlos's line is telling us that fishermen are just zombies. They're all dead. Like they're just living, decomposing. Because, like, I don't know. When thinking back on it, when I caught a fish, I'm not going, "Oh, this thing smells nasty." You know, it just smells like water and a little. You can smell a little bit, but not like this disgust. You know, that's kind of one of the things about going to a fine seafood place. It's like it shouldn't be smelly. You know,
Which
that means it's not stored well.
Here's a question. Kokoyashi Village, do you think that the next fishman that goes to that island is cooked? Or do you think they're going to treat them differently than Arlong? Like, maybe this is a good fishman. Or do you think Kokoyashi Village is so scarred by being enslaved for like 15 years or however many years it was that they're like, yeah, no, we're killing the next fishman that comes by?
You know,
like Genzo, for example. I could see Genzo like immediately pulling out like the blicky and just shooting the fishman. Like, not again.
The thing is, when you really, because like as you start One Piece, and I have a few friends who are starting, it's so crazy how expansive the world becomes. Because
oh yeah,
Arlong is this like existential threat, and like to a certain extent, when we got out to Fishman Island, it's like he kind of is on Fishman Island. Like if you put Arlong in that arc, he is kind of strong, and I'm sure Oda would buff him up and whatever. But like he's not. Hody Jones gets killed by everybody. Like there's not a single person. Like,
I feel like it doesn't make sense, but it does feel like Arlong would little bro Hody Jones.
Yeah, and like so I get that with Arlong, but when you look back at it, the real problem for Kokoyashi Village was that the Navy was so corrupt that they allowed it, and the other part of it was that Garp is a regular.
At the same time, though, it's like Nezumi was definitely out-leveled, though. Like, if they were to beat them, they'd have to call more than Nezumi, which, shout-outs to Nezumi, he makes an appearance in Zoro's light novel. And we see what he's like before he joins the Marines. Not before he joins the Marines, but as a Commodore or something. And he's apparently like a Chad. And it's only once he becomes like a corrupted guy does he like kind of get lame.
When you get to like just past Kokoyashi Village, you start to realize that like Arlong wasn't really the problem. Nezumi, if he just reported it to anybody, then like snitched one
Arlong
time,
is still the problem. It's just that Nezumi didn't help.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying Smoker clears. What are they gonna do to Smoker? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
they're done.
What Garp?
I mean, even like Axe-Hand Morgan.
Yeah, literally, there's so many people that were just there, like just around. Garp is literally somehow like Garp could one-shot all of East Blue and not even know it. You know what I mean? Like if he really, and like I'm not saying Garp would particularly care, but like it wouldn't even be a problem, but Garp just didn't know. You know what I mean? And so when you look at like Genzo's like crisis, it's like he can't report it because the guy is countering him and then the guy's profiting off of it. It's like they were unlucky with Nezumi. If they just had one other person
also
just check,
the East Blue is so big and has so many different like naval bases, by the way, that technically Genzo could have just like went on like a day or two trip and then just found a good marine. Like it's not like Nezumi was covering the entire East Blue, just that quadrant of the East Blue. So, like, if Genzo just, like, took a little vacay, just said, oh, guys, let me go to the next Marine and just get them, it would have been fine. I don't know, bro. Like, even Full Body would lose. I think Full Body wouldn't win. But Full Body could have easily gotten back from, like, Hina, for example. And, they're chilling, dude. They could go to Logtown, get Smoker, and they're chilling. Like, I don't know, bro.
That's where we get to slippery slope, which we can't sit and do because, like, whatever, because Nami was out on different places.
She was.
And like even like let's take the live action version of Nami, who's got like relatively free reign. Like
and, literally, don't
she could have turned to Mihawk. How much will it be?
Don't
to
even
kill
misinterpret.
Arlong?
But we can't forget Nami's mom or stepmom or whatever you want to call her, adoptive mom. She was a part of the Marines, so Nami would probably be like, "Hey, Belmare, I want to flex that name for a minute. Can you like save her village?" You know what I mean? Like, it's not like Nami's like, "Oh, I hate Marines." Like, she doesn't. She never said she hated Marines. She hates pirates. So trust the Marines outside of Nezumi, and you're kind of solid. It's one of those things. It's like you said, we can't like put too much logic behind this because things fall apart, and that's true for any story. It's not like a One Piece thing. Most stories don't like cover every single aspect and nook and cranny that people could think of. But yeah, it's one of those things that's just sillier given what we know.
Yeah. It's just sillier, like the context, like whichever version of early One Piece you go with, it's like Nami could have just told that guy, and that guy could have cleared everybody.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many iterations of just like, imagine what if Nami paid that guy to just clear, and it's like Arlong was strong. Don't get me wrong, but he wasn't.
You could probably, I'm not gonna lie, you could probably rage bait Don Krieg into doing it too. Yeah, like, hey, Don Krieg, you're the ruler of the East Blue? Well, there's this guy that you should probably fight. Like, can you beat him? Yeah, and then, Captain Kuro. Captain Kuro was doing everything for, like, pennies on the dollar for Kaya's fortune. Hey, Captain Kuro, Nami has, like, 100 million berries. She's gonna give you, like, 50 million if you just kill Arlong? Like, I don't know, dude. Like, yeah, you might have tried to scam her, but still, like, 100 million. You could easily hire like the best bounty hunters out there. The Don, not Don Chinjiao. The Donachino family would have done that for like 2 million. They would have done that for fun.
Dude, the moment Nami hears Don Krieg would trade a ship for Zeph's logbook, Nami, I have so many logbooks. I have a room, all the maps you want. I'll draw maps for
Krieg
you.
Master, please just kill Arlong. Yeah. We have so much to offer. Just kill him.
Yeah, you know what? I do want to. What a world! Don Krieg versus Arlong, right? Like that.
People would debate about it. People are saying that Don Krieg would win if there's no water, but with water, Arlong would win, and I think that's very fair. But they also see that Gin would destroy Arlong's commanders, though, which I agree with.
And you substitute Don Krieg with the Straw Hats in Kokoyashi Village, and it's like, okay, Don Krieg wins and Arlong never makes it back on land. And like, that's essentially what it is.
We gotta remember, Arlong had like maybe 100 boys. Don Krieg canonically had like 5,000. Because he had 50 ships. Don Krieg had 50 ships, and we don't know like the exact numbers, of course, but we're to assume that most ships have like 100 each if we're going off of Orlumbus, because Orlumbus has 50 ships as well, and they all have 100 crewmates on them. So yeah, Don Krieg might be the same way. It's like, yo, like that's a lot of people. I don't think Arlong can necessarily fight Don Krieg's fleet.
Yeah.
But yeah, how did we even get here? Garling and Rocks.
The
barrel. Okay, yeah. I was like, what is going? Okay, so Rayleigh is going to tell Shaki something. Love?
Oh my god, no, it has to be Shaki. There's something I need to say to you. Don't say it, I already know. And it has to be that Rayleigh's gay.
What? Where did that even come from?
It can't be love. It can't be I love you. It can't be. Because that makes no sense.
Why does that make no sense?
Because, okay, Shaki, there's something I need to say to you. I love you so much and I'll never let this happen again. Don't say it, I already know. Okay, day after God Valley, and for the next 13 years, Rayleigh's not with Shaki.
No, because he loves adventure. She doesn't want to hold him back. She's gonna go retire. She's gonna chill. She's gonna chill and wait for Rayleigh to come back home.
The love of your life is when you know that she has a sickness where she'll die if she doesn't get to see you.
It could be like the Shanks Makino thing. Like, hey, Roger, it's that time of the year. Let's go see Shaki. Which I doubt Roger would say anything about that. Roger would be like freaking happy, dude. Over the moon.
Yeah, over the moon. Yeah, I mean, it's just funny because it's like, baby girl, I'll never let this happen. It's like, and then he leaves for 13 years. It can't be something like that. But at the end of the day, like in reflection, there's so many things that like this moment and this situation, like now you look back at Sabaody and like, oh my God, this makes sense. Like, the whole, when Shaki told Rayleigh after Marineford, where Luffy was, and she was just like, I think he's on Amazon Lily, and he goes like, what? Why would that be the case? And she's just like, well, if Boa fell in love with Luffy, then Boa's probably thinking, if she says, if I was Boa, I would think hiding a man amongst an island of women would be something that the Navy wouldn't think of, or anybody would think of. And that's what she did. She's like, surely a woman wouldn't be in the middle of Pirate's Paradise. And that's what ended up happening, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy that, like, that's, the perspective, but then also
W. Oda, man.
When it comes to Rayleigh being in the human auction house, and she goes, oh, he's probably with some young girl, and you think he's like being like,
Promiscuous.
adulterous, which we don't even know what their relationship's like. Like, the moment we find out Mihawk is their child, like, I don't know, but the point is that, like, that now has a whole different context. It's like, oh, Rayleigh might be with a young woman because Rayleigh's putting himself in the slave trades to prevent more of me happening, right? Because she was enslaved and trafficked for a year, kept fine, but for this moment. So in her mind, she's like, Rayleigh's doing this so that nobody else has to go through what she did. And he's trying to prevent like a grand prize for a cleansing event, which we don't know any context of in the modern history of One Piece. But, there's so many things that feels really good. And the only part that's kind of funky is like, no, Shaki, I don't know what he's gonna say. I don't already know what Rayleigh's about to say. Let him speak. Like, I want to know what the
Some
Dark
things
King
are
has
better
to
left
say.
unsaid. We gotta leave that for the bedroom, Par. Let them
But
have
also,
their moment.
What of this situation? Like, when does he become the Dark King? Where is this epithet from? Like, I want to. Like,
It's what Summers gives to him.
Like, is he that because under the sheets it's dark down there? Like, I don't know what's happening, because apparently he's never been down there, so I don't know.
The Dark King Rayleigh.
What
He's
if
dark because his love is even darker. He leaves Shaki out in the cold.
Yeah, what if it's like, Shaki, there's something I need to say to you. Don't say it. I already know. And the answer is that I'm a virgin. What if it's that?
Shaki, our first time's not gonna be that great. I gotta let you know right now. It might end in like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
you might
she's,
touch
like,
me a little bit too
sniffing him.
hard, and it's game. I'm cooked.
Yeah, she's sniffing him, like that face beforehand. It's in a fanfic. It's because like he's like, I know I can't control what's happening down there. I swear it's biological.
It's pre-cum. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, she's just like, I know what a virgin smells like. Like, that's doing the like, I don't know what to get. Oda, in an SBS, you better be answering what Ray is saying next. Like, that'd be so funny if Oda gives us. I want Oda to give us a multiple choice. He's like, it's either A, this, B, and like not answer it, but give us options.
That sounds like an Oda thing to do.
Yeah. Shout out to Oda. You hear that?
You hear that, Oda? I'm coming for you. So
Get to work.
we see Ivanka, Big Mom Kuma, that whole thing. We already saw this before. We don't have to talk too much about it. Impressive, though, that they escape Big Mom's wrath. It looks like Kuma eats the fruit, and Big Mom is in so much shock that she just lets them go. Like, that stun locked her for a second. It's like, fair. It's kind of like what we were under the assumption of beforehand, too. So we can skip over that. Next thing we see, ya boy, Kyoto gets defeated.
Bye.
Just guy. I don't know who this is.
Oh, just a guy. You're telling me that's not Marco.
Yeah, everybody's saying it looks like Marco. I see it, guys. I see the haircut. It looks like Marco. Obviously it's not Marco. Who is this guy? I don't know. People are saying it's Marco's dad.
No, that's Marco at 7 years old, just like how that's Douglas Bullet earlier.
Oh my god, yeah, the Douglas Bullet. Oh, guys, it's Douglas Bullet behind Roger. Bro, there's Ramgram in the crew who looks like him. Douglas is like 10. He doesn't join the crew till like Roger's established and Douglas is a freaking adult, but I respect it. I do respect people coming up with these theories. But I do also feel like we should check the timeline before we say certain things. But yeah, I get it, right? Not everybody has the time to do that, so I'm not harping. But I just think it's hilarious that, it's like, wait a minute, Whitebeard doesn't have a crew yet. Whitebeard is still with Rocks. Marco's relatively young. Like, that doesn't connect somehow. Like, you don't have to know the exact age of Marco, but it's like, wait a minute, should Marco even be here fighting Kyoto, this full-ass adult?
This would be hilarious if that's how Whitebeard ended up recruiting Marco. And it's like, you're that guy's son, aren't you?
Oh my
I saw
God.
your dad whoop ass with the Rocks crew. Like, it's like Yasop, Usopp
Just
with like
scouting him.
Luffy. It's like, I know your dad. Your dad's nuts. What about you? And Usopp's just like, oh, 8 million crewmates. And then, like, Marco is just like a little toddler. Whitebeard gets him on the
Hey,
crew.
Luffy's a
One
better
day
guy
you're
than
gonna-
me. If I saw Usopp shaking in his knees, I'd be like, I don't know if I want you, brother. Not
Yeah,
like your dad, man.
Luffy's just like, one day you'll be a great guy. Yeah, we're still waiting for that day, right, Luffy?
Here's a question for you, Par. And this is
Ah.
subjective, but if you were in the world of One Piece, would you rather recruit quality or quantity?
In the world of One Piece,
Yeah, would you rather have
it's-
would you rather have a crew like Luffy's where 10 people, all very unique fighters, some really heavy hitters like Sanji, Jinbei, and Zoro, or would you rather be like, and I don't want to say or quantity sucks, but it's like Whitebeard, where you got like
I would
two
not
really heavy hitters, but you got like 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 people.
I wouldn't want to be Whitebeard.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like economics, and the
It's
funny
just
part
so
is Oda
much.
did. Yeah, Oda brought it in that, you know what I mean? Like he talked about how Whitebeard didn't like pay for their foods because he was giving his food to his place. And it's like that's so real, honestly. Like at a certain point, you're like, yo, how do I feed these people? How am I gonna be
Yeah.
responsible for all this? In the world of One Piece, that's really hard. Unless I can like flex like Big Mom, there's no shot that I'm starting off anywhere expecting anything like that. Like 10 is reasonable. 10 is also easier to like escape and whatever, right? Like having individuals who survived on their own it makes sense to me because it's like, okay, if that guy survived, this guy survives, that guy survives on their own and they proved it, then what happens, we're on all together. I think it'll be the equations there, right? Versus if you have 5,000 people, it's like, damn, bro, like this guy gets captured and they're underneath the Whitebeard pirate name. They're expecting me to show up?
Yeah,
Like,
dude, imagine how many like Enis lobby type situations Whitebeard has to go through. Like, oh my god,
want to
Jonathan got
live,
captured. And then Jonathan's like, Whitebeard, I want to live. And it's like every Tuesday because you have so many people that just fall through the cracks. It's like, whoa, at some point you have to like
Yeah.
stop going for them.
I mean, legitimately, Jinbei. No, Jinbei was in there, and it's like Jinbei was just like, oh, he ain't gonna show up for me. You know, he's gonna show up for Ace though. You know, it's like, yeah, I get it. Like Jinbei turned into a warlord, but like he fought Ace for Whitebeard. Like he was
Yeah.
not just nobody for, and it's like as a Whitebeard, Jinbei, Fishman Island relevance, like there's that too. It's like an entire island representative. And it's like Jinbei had Jinbei's the one of one. He's like, yeah, I don't expect Whitebeard to come for me, but it's like, how many hundreds of Whitebeard pirates would be in Impel Down?
It might have to be like a contractual thing. Like maybe it's like, oh, when you join the crew, we'll only save you if you're a division commander. Anything below that, you're cooked.
Yeah, well,
You're on
only
your own,
save
buddy.
you if you're a lower than level 6, but more than level 3.
Yeah,
you
something like that.
You did that middle 100 berry bounty. There you go. There you go. Like that's what we gotta
You've
get.
got to have potential, or be my rival's son.
Yeah, honestly though, that would be motivation for me to like try. You know what I mean? Because the reality is that like that's not how it worked. Because like one, we know the division commanders were not like strength based particularly. Like yeah, they were strong, but like
They say that.
Blackbeard was offered it.
It seems
and he had a 0 bounty.
strength based.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because like 100%.
It's
we have
very
to look at those
top heavy with
commanders.
Ace, Odin, Marco, Jozu, and Vista. It's very top heavy. Like, it's the whole thing, like, oh, he didn't rank them based off power level. It's like, okay, so who's the strongest? Oh, it's Marco. Who's after that? Oh, it's, Odin, Ace. After that, Jozu. What ranks are they? Well, 2 and 3 and 4. I mean, it's like, okay, not strength based, but it just so happens to be that all the top fighters have like the top numbers. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Perfect. I get it. I get it.
That Toon Link guy, I always hold out for him. I want to see that Toon Link kid again.
We're never gonna see that guy again.
Cool.
We're never gonna see him again.
Come on. He didn't die in the Payback War.
I love that though. I mean, I get that he doesn't rank his commanders, but it looks like he ranks his commanders based off of strength. Like, when people say that, it's like, okay, but look at everybody below 5. Who below 5 is going to give anybody above 5 a challenge? Be honest. Like, no, none of them, guys.
Yeah, we never heard Kizaru go, oh, that Toon Link looking motherfucker looks crazy.
Yeah. Oh my god. What's that guy with like the 5 guns, like Brenham or something? Like, dude, nobody knows these dudes, man. Like, they're not strong.
No, wait, you just said the guy. Oh my god. Wait. No. I'm actually not shitting you. Look up Whitebeard's crew. And then look up that guy, because I was looking. I didn't end up. So many other things I was looking up, but I wanted to pull up that guy because he genuinely looks like looks like man marked by flames bait. He straight up looks like, if I were to make a character that was more bait, it would be that guy. Where is that guy? I think you said his name, Brenham. Where is he?
I think in the chapter, Curiel. I got his name like completely wrong. I mixed it up with Blenheim.
Yeah, wait, where's it? Blenheim is in the crew, right?
Yeah, Blenheim's the 9th division commander. Curiel, the guy I was thinking about, is the 10th. There's some of these guys I even forgot about. I don't even know about King Du. I forgot about Atmo, Speed, Jiru. Like, the funniest thing, I went through these guys like the other day and I still forgot them. Like, they're just so forgettable.
Yeah. It wasn't Blenheim. Oh, now I know. The dialogue said, like, the guy was saying Blenheim. And I'm like, the guy was straight up the most man marked by flames bait. It was like, I'm surprised no one brought up this guy. Damn, I need to find him. Okay, so it wasn't Blenheim, but his name gets mentioned. At a certain point, I'm gonna look it up on the side.
Speaking of which, man marked by flames bait. Since I'm now at Subodi Archipelago in the anime, you know who seems like the man marked by flames, like based off of a rewatch?
Who?
Duval.
Oh yeah.
Because we hear that he has like a crazy ass scar on his back, and we never see it.
The cursed child. Yeah,
like when we first heard about him, it's like, yeah, like Marines were chasing after him and he ended up with a nasty scar on his back. And it's like, we've never seen it. Like, they mention it like twice or 3 times and we just don't see his back at all. It's like, I wonder if imagine that he takes off his shirt and it's like a flame mark on his back. Like, even when he saves 1,000 Sun and we see him all bandaged up, they bandage his back too. So it's like, wait a minute, like what's going on with that thing? Like, I'm not saying he is that guy, but like, I was really curious about that. I remember I looked it up afterwards. I was like, wait, like, have we ever seen it? Nope. Mysterious scar.
Yeah, and
he does have flying fish, so he can go down there. He knows about like the fish trade. Like, if he had it, I wouldn't be shocked. But I just feel like if he did, he'd probably give it to the Straw Hats, though. That's my one thing. That for me is where the theory falls apart. Like, it doesn't make sense for him to have it. The Marine angle doesn't work, and he just give it to the Straw Hats. So I don't think it's him, but I gotta admit, I like scratched my chin when I heard about that. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's kind of also for me. Like, when I'm thinking of a theory, I was trying to choose. Like, when I thought about Man Marked by Flame specifically, I was like, it would be reasonable, honestly, to make them outwardly biased to Straw Hats, because it's like, all right, like you're telling me the last one that everyone's looking for just also is conveniently by a not just ally, like straight up devoted character, right? And that's what they defended the Thousand Sunny for 2 years. That's not just an ally. That's like they didn't know that if they were coming back. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
different. That's so different. And
And you
so
know
like
they need the poneglyph and you don't give it to them? Like, nah, it doesn't make any
yeah,
sense.
like yeah, exactly. That's the other part of it too. With them, you could say like, oh, they didn't know that it was necessary. Like they don't know the importance of it. But then it's like, okay, so then why would they go down there and specifically take that
Yes,
poneglyph?
that's one thing we have to remember. They took the red and left the blue.
Yeah, or gray, whatever color they're supposed
Blue.
to be.
It's not gray.
What? It's gray.
It's blue.
No, it's not.
Par, you're so colorblind. I could probably paint you a rainbow, and you think I just left a smear on your wall.
Okay, Sai, let's do this. Let's do this. Okay,
I'm not
let's
doing
go
this.
to digital
No.
color.
This is a One Piece video. We're not getting into the semantics about how effed up your eyes are.
No, you're telling me that okay, no, I just for my sanity,
Are you getting rage baited, Par?
Alabasta.
You're being successfully rage baited.
No, oh, I'm not like in the Phase clan. I don't know how this stuff works. I didn't know you were Phase side.
Yeah, 6-7 Par. Get cooked.
Oh my fucking
Get
God.
cooked, old man.
No,
So
you did-
getting
all
back
right.
to topic before we
That
get
was
too
worth
off.
It. That was worth it. That was fucking
Barbell.
6.
He's looking pretty good in this chapter, right?
Is he?
Yeah, he's over here like boxing people and stuff. Yeah.
Is he boxing? I don't know who's up there. Like it's like he's doing the
He's
Nika
fighting
dance.
God, dude.
He's fighting God.
Yeah, he's fighting God. That's why he's aiming up. You know,
Yeah, this dude.
it's hilarious looking at Barbell. Because somebody was like, Sai, are you even sure that's Barbell? It could be Sunbell. And it's like, that's like the most racist comment I've seen. I love it. Sai, do you even know if that's Barbell for sure? It's like, you know what? I mean, I know it's him because of the necklace, but I was like, you're kind of not wrong. I mean, they look the same.
That did come across my mind. I was like,
Really?
when does Sunbell come into play here? But you know, I was like, that's
I gave
just
up.
Barbell, you know.
I gave up trying to like learn the Roger parts. I'm not even gonna lie. Like when I was doing my review for the chapter, I saw like the Scopper panel, for example, and the panel where Rayleigh's running. And that's like, okay, I know these are Roger pirates beside these guys. Do I care to like look up who they are? I'm like, not really. Like maybe one day I will, you know, as like the One Piece dude that talks about it. Yeah, I should know them, but I just don't feel like they matter.
Yeah, which is the thing is the Roger Pirates more so than like the fact that I'm on the Whitebeard Pirate page right now and there's just so many boxes is just because Oda had to flesh out Marineford. But in reality, none of these guys matter. The division commanders don't matter.
There's more Roger Pirates than Whitebeard division commanders too.
Yeah, and
Ain't no
the
way.
Roger Pirates are actually important because they learned the true history of the One Piece world. And Vegapunk reiterated that to everybody, saying, hey guys, these aren't just pirates. These are the end goal. Every one of them has the history that makes and breaks the world and changes who rules it. He straight up said it in plain daylight. And that's something that we as readers knew and understood or should have known. But it's another thing to broadcast it to the world. And I say that because like when you know, the Straw Hats got to Sabaody, they're like, wait, aren't you guys like hunted? I thought the Roger Pirates like were hunted for like the One Piece, not knowing what the One Piece really was at the time. And it's like they're not even close to being hunted. Like Rayleigh could have spewed all this stuff. He could have been the homeless guy on Sabaody, and apparently he's strong enough where not really anybody would do anything until later. Crocus is out there just raw dogging solo. Everybody who crosses the thing could like, you know, sniff him out. You know what I mean? I'm sure Garp knows where he is.
Not even the Roger Pirates, by the way, know where each other are. Like Rayleigh was like, yeah, you know, we split up, and who knows where they are nowadays.
Yeah, Scopper's
I
just
don't
chilling on Elbaf.
Maybe they're all
But
dead.
like it's just wild that like yeah, like maybe they're all dead, but maybe they're not. Like the reality is that all it takes is one guy to not listen to Roger. Like all it takes is one guy be like,
Which you
you
say
know,
that, but we
Roger's
don't even know what Roger wants to do with that information. Like Rayleigh still has that crazy line, which, you know, because I just got to Sabaody. Rayleigh's like, yeah, you know, we came to a certain answer when we learned everything. And I thought it was really interesting how they framed it. You know, at first I was like, oh, it's because they know the history, but they were standing on, like, Rayleigh standing on the world government logo. It's like, okay, at first you could see that as like, oh, he knows the history, but like, what if they chose the WG side? Like, yeah, they kind of agreed with Emu, which I think we talked about a while back. Like, we don't know anything about Emu. I think it's easy to call Emu and the WG the bad dudes, but there is a world where 900 years ago they were legitimately good.
I will go as far to say that this chapter reinforces that. Like
It does. It does. And people hate it. They're like, ah, no, they gotta stay completely bad. It's like, I don't think that works.
Well, my like, and we talked about this in a funny way on stream, which is that like, I don't know if they're even like at a certain point we have to say that they didn't win. Joy Boy just gave up. Like Joy Boy's through. Joy Boy lost on his own. Like he handed it to them, and he just said, "Hey guys, 800 years from now, that's when shit will get fixed, right?" And that's essentially
that's like
what
the
ended
Odin
up happening.
thing.
Yeah, and it's
Hey
like,
guys, deal with slavery for like 20 years. I swear to God, somebody's gonna come by and save y'all.
I'm looking at this chapter. I'm like, listen, dog. We have characters in every era that just like makes them look like they're not powerful. There's one dude at the top, and we know how that goes. Like, if Emu's the Kaido of the series, and we're gonna round robin King of the Hill with Emu. All right, cool, whatever. Emu's the new Kaido, but then it's like, yeah, like I don't want, you know, Shamrocks to go down like Queen, you know,
Yeah.
like King. That's what it's feeling like, though. So,
That's crazy.
you know, we'll get there, though. We'll get there.
That's crazy. So let's see here. Barbell, Kyoto, Stussy shooting somebody. That's awesome. Garp calls up Sengoku. Funny because Bogart's like holding up the phone. Like that's all he's good for. And he's like, hey, Sengoku, what's up with this? Did you know about, like, this island? Sengoku doesn't say yes or no. He just says, yes, there was a man who reported on rumors, but he vanished from the Navy ranks, which, very different from TCB. In TCB, it kind of leaves it, you know, kind of open, like, oh, like, did he retire? Did he just actually die? Here, it does sound like they killed him. Like they eliminated the man who was asking questions, which makes sense. You know, if I was a celestial dragon, I'd probably kill this guy too. He's gonna ruin our vacation.
God. Hold on, I need to see TCB's translation of this. This is hilarious. I'm so sorry. What did Garp say here? Garp says, this doesn't feel like a dream. They really did this. Viz, if I ain't awake and dreaming, then it's all real. Like,
Stephen Paul's in his cowboy era. I don't know what's going on, Stephen Paul. Like that's hilarious, man.
Dude, that is, who is saying that? Did Garp? That sounds like a.
That's something I'd hear in Oklahoma. That sounds like something the family would say.
Dude, that's a bar, I guess. Like
it's a bar, dude. It's a southern bar, man. Maybe Stephen Paul, you know. Yeah, Stephen Paul's been putting cows through the tube.
This is something I'm honestly surprised Oda hasn't had Garp say throughout the series. This should be his catchphrase,
right? His catchphrase, like he drops it like once per arc. Like maybe he sees Blackbeard and that's his first line. He sees Brock's like, hey, if I'm alive, then I ain't dreaming. Like what?
He sees Ace die. If I ain't awake and dreaming, then it's
yeah, Ace dies in front of him. He drops this beggar.
No fucking way, bro. He reads the newspaper of Luffy breaking in and out of Impel Down. If I ain't awake and dreaming, then it's already. Oh god, that is a awesome
and then
translation.
And then Loki's catchphrase is, "Do you hear what the trees are talking about?"
Bro, Stephen Paul.
Stephen Paul's a
Oh
funny guy,
gosh.
dude. One Piece official. People were surprised that we gave the One Piece official some flowers last time.
Yeah, they thanked us.
And
Dude, that's
that
all we had to
shows,
do.
man, we're not like biased. We give credit where it's due, and if slander is what's necessary, we give slander. Like, and sorry, but like, more so than not, the Viz is not amazing. And we're laughing with this one, but we're not giving it flowers for this. It's just kind of wacky, but
I need
we
to
just thought
hear
it's
this.
funny.
I need to hear like the dub and sub version of. Do they pull out like a cowboy accent for this?
Yeah. Cowboy Garp. What if this is canon as well?
Yeah,
This is what he
yeah.
actually
Like
says.
Oda writes it in English. Actually, it didn't need to be translated. Like this is
Yeah.
fake. Oda wrote it. It's like Laugh Tale, but like in when Roger's flashback or Oda's flashback, it's written in English. Oda wrote this in English so that there's no confusion.
Yeah. He
And
does want to
TCB
F
is
up
like,
this line.
yeah, which
I mean, even if he
jokes
writes
is-
it in English, I mean, Stephen Paul is still going to change it. What? Hey,
I would
Oda
pro Stephen
wrote
Paul,
out
come on.
Knights of God in English. Stephen Paul, because he's been calling them Holy Knights, he has to say the Holy Knight. He literally went to Oda's English, changed it so it could fit. It's like full of lead. Like, he can't let it go. Like, if they ever
Full
spell out
lead comes
Hachinosu, he goes that just says full of lead. It's like, okay.
Mucha full of bees. I still love the
Mucha
Spanish one.
Philippines. Yeah, great island name, Stephen Paul. Stephen
Well,
Paul
no,
original.
that's the Spanish Viz one, which they were like,
Oh,
you know what? I'm just gonna
man.
give them both. I'm gonna give them
Just
both.
have
and
fun
it's
with it,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
At one point,
But
it's
I
become ghost
do
stories.
like the someone commented on this part, and I just like the idea that the guy that Sengoku's talking about, there was one man, and like in TCB it was that guy, so like it became a meme. That guy that Par's talking about. Now it's the one man. I hope that I kind of like the idea that that guy's relevant. Like that guy's the creator of
The
Sword.
man marked
You-
by flames.
Yeah, like either way, because like then that would work with what Shiryu said, like someone who's like with the world government, like he wants some kind of like protective measure against the world falling apart, right? He just doesn't
Yeah.
trust anybody because he signed up with the Navy, but he's disenfranchised by the world government. So he takes a position of anti-pirate but anti-world government, and that'd be holding that last pawn. How he got that information, sure, debatable,
Yeah.
but the sword part feels good to me because even this line of vanish from the Navy ranks, that's how Drake was introduced. He's like, oh, he left the Navy ranks, right? Like that's kind of what Kobe was saying to Kobe and Kuzan was saying to Blackbeard. It's like their position is essentially like they're allowed to do whatever they want, and when that shit drops, then they get fired and they're not a part of the Navy, and it's free reign, right? And it's like if this is the first guy who did that, then I kind of curious what if this is the starting point, because like I feel like sword is such a significant thing that it would take a cleansing event or something like this to
trigger
create it. Yeah, and this is a perfect entryway, and it's also a perfect entryway to smooth over and suspend belief that Garp somehow doesn't know that cleansing events are like this late into the game, considering how public the entire thing is to the Navy. Like Dragon is probably the worst person you want to show the cleansing event to, but it's like, all right, we're just gonna bring cadets and just free ball them into it and tell them it's training for 2 weeks and have them hear blood curdling screaming all over the island and just tell them, yeah, it's fine. This is what we stand for, guys. And it's like, that's not going to fly. I would sooner believe, and I was telling this someone to the comments, like, it's not an unsolvable position, but Oda would have to add so much because like, I would entertain the idea that like, that's a way that the Navy makes you complicit. That's a way that the Navy, like what Dragon is saying, right? He has a guilt of being a part of this heinous act that now he has to live to atone for those actions. And so it might be that, hey, you're just as bad as all of us. So now you have to lock in because like there's 99% of the time like that you'll see that we're saving people. So don't worry about that 1% where we slaughter an entire island. Like don't worry about that. Forget about that, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a hazing, it's an indoctrination, and that's something that we do have in the real world where it's like you know, crazy regimes will put you through this kind of thing to make you complicit. So when you're on the thing, you can't say that you're not a part of the problem. You are a part of the problem, and they'll convince you 9 ways to Sunday that you are. And it's like, you know, look at me, I'm pulling out cowboy terms. It's 7 ways till Sunday, but anyways, which you know, it's 6 ways. Whatever. Point is that I could believe that, but even then, if you have like that's a practice, that's how they do it. Like the way they did it was just so insane that like surely over the however many years that Garp has been in the upper echelons of the Navy, he's heard so like this shouldn't be like a hey Sengoku, did you know this is going on?
He seems like a Luffy type of character. Like if it's not in front of him, he's not reading about it. He's not really thinking too hard.
Yeah, which I can agree to that, except he knew about the Celestial Dragons field trips. He was dogging Kong
Hey, maybe. Dude, if I heard the Celestial Dragons had a field trip, I just thought that they were hanging out, you know, drinking some brewskis, man.
But it was also funny because he was like, at that point, it felt like there's a reason why he wasn't a part of it and not going and bringing himself to the thing. And now it's no, he was just oblivious of it, which that part I'm also fine with. Like if he was that oblivious of it, and then it's Sengoku who was aware of it, and this whole dialogue is Garp questioning Sengoku's like is Sengoku a psychopath killer guy? Like, is he a problem? Like, this is my best friend, right? And that is like a crazy thing. And then this would be the opening for it is Sword, and Sengoku knows about the guy who vanished from the ranks because hey, I didn't know when you were knowledgeable about this, but I didn't know if you could keep secrets. But now is a good time to tell you about Sword, which would set us up for the current day, where Garp is like not in Sword, but he is like very
doing his own thing.
Like, yeah, and he's so acclimated to Sword that he's able to just take him up, put him on a full ass mission, and he's collaborating with them to the point that his 2 disciples are in Sword. But he's not in Sword, and this would be the perfect
not just that,
setup.
but like we have Sudo's granddaughter who is a part of Sword too.
Right.
And then you know people are it's a stupid meme, but people are saying you know Groose is related to Sengoku, so it's like yeah, like you know and he's a part of Sword, so it's like yeah, maybe like the whole thing with these 3 here, you know, the old gen, they're raising Sword members.
Yeah, and I'd love if this is the opening thing. It would smooth out so many problems and not have to like directly address all of them by giving it. It's like, what am I suspending disbelief for? Sword. Okay, cool. All right, that's worth it. That's worth it. You know what I mean?
We still don't know like where it originates. We don't know anything about it, how it started. Like, yeah, it's perfect. I think this vanished Navy character, it could be a new person. It's tough. Like they could be important, they could not be important. It could just be a throwaway line. We don't know yet, but we can easily see this person coming into the story in a meaningful way. But if we do get them, we're gonna need like a brand new design, lore, etc. That's a lot. You know that is genuinely asking for a decent amount, considering we have so many heavy hitters already and so many people we need to focus on. If we add in another character, it's like, oh, it's gonna be a lot. Maybe it's Akainu's dad.
Yeah, and then Akainu's like entire life is a lie. He was taught that he was like killed by some pirate related to.
He has the sword tattoo. Maybe the dad's like, son, I'm gonna get disappeared soon, but never forget this. And he puts the sword on his arm.
You know how crazy it would be if we saw like Akainu's dad should come from the shadows. He's the leader of Sword. He puts his hand on Akainu. You did good, son. And then like Sakazuki completely changes his demeanor. It's like, Papa, did I don't like just like
oh
some shit
yeah,
like that.
And then maybe Akainu's dad. I already know what fruit he'd have. He'd have the volcano no Mi.
The
Krakatoa.
Yeah, something like that. The cracker. Oh shit, that would be kind of
that'd be kind of cool. I mean, that's what Cracker has essentially, the biscuit.
Yeah, but I don't think is it? No, but it's not crack
It's
fruit,
biscuit
right?
biscuit, but yeah, close enough.
One of the celestial dragons need to have a cracker fruit.
It'd be good. But I mean, I feel like eventually it would just be like a whip though, right? Because that like crack. Yeah.
Oh
Because
yeah. There's so many
because some fruits have like sound effects that relate to their
yeah,
actual power.
puns.
Yeah, puns.
Oda, get on it. Oda, you
Oda,
heard it
come
here.
on, help us out. So we see that Rocks, because he called all of his crew to help him earlier, Garling had to also call for backup. So now we have Garling, the Holy Knight Girl, and some demons chasing after Rocks because he started to play unfairly. Unfortunate stuff. Exactly what you'd expect from a pirate. And now the question becomes, who Dami reversing these guys? Because Emu's not on the island yet, right?
Bro, I'm still at the part where Stephen Paul translated it as the TCB says Rox's location, and then they go from Rox's perspective. I was like, damn, we getting a POV. That's crazy. But yeah, apparently from Rox's perspective, we still don't know who Dami reversing them. And on a different note, it's like it's kind of crazy because they're like, send backup. And Garling has the backup, and it's the Davy family being Dami reversing. I think it's just Garling. That's
explains
what
why he loses the fight. Because, you know, one thing that everybody's been talking about is that Garling, if he's the one who Dami reversing these guys, then he probably had to split his focus and strength and give it to some of these dudes. And it's like, yeah, I understand now. Like,
oh,
yeah, that's what all of us Garling fans are
cope.
talking about. Yeah, no, not cope, not cope. Unknown
Wait.
power that we don't know about. So yeah, it's a
it's a known
theory.
power. You're telling me that Garling he takes after his biggest role model is Tien, the Shadow Clone Master.
Exactly.
Oh,
it's respectable. I mean, Garling giving his amazing godlike powers to so many demons at once. Yeah, that's a miracle. High feat from Garling. Now it makes sense as to why he lost.
Wait.
What's up?
We've got no choice but to run. And then the line says, wait, Syvduck in the thing. But in the Viz, they had a little flavor to it. Come back, Syvduck. Do you see that?
Yeah, it's like The Shining. Yeah, I see it. Come back.
That's crazy.
So what you're telling me is that Syvduck is fleeing from a fight. Weird, huh? A little bit interesting, guys.
So you're telling me that Syvduck can carry two people on his back and outrun a velociraptor and a holy knight?
First up, it's not a velociraptor, it's an emu they're riding. Second up,
a supersonic one probably.
I mean, you're not taking Garling's character into perspective here. There is a chance that Garling's letting Rox get away because Rox is carrying his wife and son. Garling is giving him like a crazy head start. He's nerfing himself. Good guy, Garling, man. That's just respectable.
So when Garling gets slashed on the head while riding his thing, and
haven't you heard?
He's strong. He's strong, no doubt. The wounds he's inflicting will take longer to regenerate. He's letting rocks permanently or less temporarily scar him. That's on purpose. He's tanking them. He's like, he threw another one. Oh, my forehead.
Okay, Par. Now you're just being oblivious for the sake of it. Rox is like the number one Davy back fighter in the world. He's playing dirty. He probably hit Garling with the, hey, look over there, and then he hit Garling from behind. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, do you really expect the Davy man to play fairly? Like, I don't. I feel bad, because Garling has always been known as a respectable 1v1er.
Look over there. We literally see him running and having a full ass conversation with his wife.
But before, when the fight started, Rox obviously said, "Hey, Garling, look!" And then he hit him from behind, and it's a bad look. I used to be a big Rox fan, but now it's just he's really sullying the waters with this disrespect.
On his forehead and his shoulder because there's two slashes that happen, one on his forehead and one on his shoulder, blood coming down for both, and that's from the back. It looks like Garling can't even dodge. Like, it's so funny because it's also, there's no hockey. We don't even see a projectile slash being that way. At least with Maffy, we saw trees and everything, and Maffy was like blindsided. Garling is looking at rocks, a single focus with an army, and it's just like hilarious because he's just running at him and taking all
It's
of
hard
the
to defend
pain
this
and being
guy.
like, this shit hurts.
It's hard to defend Garling. The one legitimate thing I could say is that he at least lost to who most people consider the strongest man in this flashback.
Wait, Sai, spoilers? He loses? Oh my god, Garland,
I need to go back and
strongest
check your
Holy-
live reaction. I bet you were like foaming at the mouth, like, oh, Garling's gonna do it, huh? And then you see the end and you're like, what? I bet you were also very disappointed.
I was foaming at the literally okay, at this part, I'm trying to remember. At this part, I think I was like laughing because I'm like, wait, how did he get hurt? Like, what happened here?
Dude, Oda.
And then when he was on the ground, it wasn't like super crystal
When
clear.
I find you, Oda! When I find you, Oda, you'll pay! I can't believe it, man. It's such a funny week. I was riding high with the Garling stuff, and then this week it's like, Sai, how do you feel now? It's like, I still like Garling. You know, the thing with Garling, you know, people go back. I never said I liked Garling because he was probably going to be like the strongest guy out there. I even said he'd lose to Rocks. I just thought we'd get something more. I still like Garling. He's still like the GOAT in my eyes. It's just that I wish the GOAT was a little bit stronger. Which he could be. He could be, you know, like he could come back next week after regenerating and it'll look amazing. But, you know.
After regenerating is such an abysmal cope here.
Hey,
It's just...
my greatest analogy would be like, you watch ReZero Subaru?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Subaru loses a bajillion times, but nobody gives him any shit for it. I love Subaru. But guess what? When he comes back, he eventually wins because it just keeps on respawning. That's my guy Garling. And Majin Buu regenerates. Think about all the great regenerators out there in anime. They always have a moment. Yeah, just gotta give some time to Garling.
Saying Subaru regenerates is insane.
He doesn't regenerate. He respawns, but it's the same concept.
He doesn't respawn. He restarts.
Yeah, and Garling's gonna restart the fight pretty soon.
If Subaru respawn, I would let this analogy slide, but it's not even that. He restart. If you told me Garling restart, I'm like, all right, he's the main character now. Like, you can't have that.
You can't beat that power.
Yeah, Emu might have that power, but like the regeneration is so far away from respawning. I would be happier if they respawn. If you told me every time Saturn gets taken out, he just comes back onto the ship and just spawns back in like the fountain in League of Legends, cool. Like that version of this, but this is so because he like, again, spoilers, but Garling not even is on the ground, taken out, incapacitated. He goes, damn it.
Hear me out. This could be like a Bleach scenario, and I think this is another great line of cope. Early on in Bleach, Matsumoto, Hitsugaya, Ikaku, they all go to the real world. And the Arankar go there also to fight Ichigo. And Hitsugaya and all these vice captains, they get bodied by, like, I think Arankar 11 through 15, who are really weak. And the thing is that, like, oh my god, like, the Arankar are super strong. Oh, what's going on here? How are they losing? And then they say, I forgot the name of it, like, something Kaijo, which is like spiritual pressure release. And we learn that because they're in the real world, they have to limit their power by like 5 times to not like kill people nearby, to, you know, not destroy the town. I think the same could be said for the Holy Knights. I think they're actually a lot more powerful in the Holy Land, And here, while they're on vacation, mind you, I mean, you're on a cruise liner. Are you expecting a fight? No. You got to imagine, this was their vacation. They were here to hang out. Like, imagine you're going for a barbecue with your friends and now you're fighting high diff against some stranger. That's essentially what's happening to the Holy Knights, and it's a feel-bad moment. So there could be a chance that Emu shows up here and he's like, you know what, Holy Knights, I release you from your shackles. You may release all your power. And then, boom, you see lines going up in the sky. You're like, what is that? It's the Holy Knights. They've finally been unleashed. And, there is a realm where that is true. Maybe not for the Holy Knights, but for Emu, right? You could say, oh, when they're next to the Sunlight Tree Eve, they're more powerful. The closer he is to his real body, they're stronger. You could even use that for the Holy Knights, too. They get their powers from Emu, so the closer they are to Emu, the stronger they get. It's not over yet, boys. Holy Knight fans, rejoice. The Messiah's coming. It's going to happen.
One part I can acknowledge, which is that it was a little hairy, but Sommers did not recover until Emu showed up. He couldn't regenerate his arm, and then Emu shows up as Gunko, and then the arm is back, which that is interesting. But when we go into this line, Garling gets, it takes longer to regenerate. So we don't know. That might be a Sommers not recognizing the extent of what Scopper did. Now, and we also don't know the extent of what Scopper has grown for, right? It might be that in this time, and this is my perspective, is that this should be everyone's first experience with the Holy Knight and the powers similar. So Rox doesn't know how to fight them. And it seems like whatever he's doing to Garling, it's not intentional. It might be something that he's not fully aware of. It might be Davy Clan related. It might be him related. It might be how he uses Conqueror's Haki. But the problem is he's not using Conqueror's Haki here. So it is interesting. But, when you get to where we are at current story, it might be that Scopper has learned because of the true history of the world and time and giants and whatever. Roger, 13 years post God Valley, maybe he's elevated whatever technique is required to hurt the Holy Knight. So maybe the wound that Sommers did take in the current story is more significant than anything that they can apply back then. But the weird part of the buff idea is that when Killingham explains to Emu what his output is on Elbaf, he doesn't say it like there's any more output that he could have done because Emu is there. It sounded like everything that he was capable of before. So it doesn't sound like there's an innate buff. Oh, now that you're here, it'll be so much easier. You were worried about a time. Well, now we can take care of it much faster because we're buffed, right? There was no acknowledgement of that. And the only slight buff was the Sommers thing, which we don't necessarily know if that's directly the case. But I can see that being the world where it is. And when you say oh, they're stronger in the Holy Knight, it just reminds me of the whole Saturn. Oh, Saturn's gonna be stronger in his lab, and then Emu just kills his ass.
Well, it's Garling's lab now. I feel like Garling in that lab is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, Garling in the lab when we're seeing him in his quote unquote prime, and now it's
no, I'm gonna use the Roger cope. People are like, oh, Roger, he's not the Pirate King yet, and it's yeah, maybe that's it, Roger's not Pirate King level yet. Garling's not prime yet. Yeah, hey, give him time.
Okay. I can see that. He's not prime yet. But she sure as hell ain't prime in the current timeline. He's past his prime and he's locked in there. We don't even know if he's locked in yet.
We don't know how Celestial Dragon bodies work.
No, they don't.
No, I said we don't know how they work.
Oh, we just know that the girls are perennial or whatever it's called. The men all age. But then the Gorosei get locked in their age. So it's maybe now Garling is stuck at the prime age of 88. I don't fucking know. But it is funny to think Garling's biggest feat is still just Mosgard. He doesn't have a bigger. He killed Mosgard, executed on thing, and that's it. He hasn't defended the Holy End for Fisher Tiger. Hasn't defended it for the Revs. You know, maybe he was hiding. Maybe he's still like, oh my God, what if another rock shows up? Oh my God, I don't want to say damn it and lie on my back. You know what I mean?
God.
Like,
I'm telling Sunlight Tree Eve and Emu, it's gonna be a major boost for the Holy Knights, boys. It's not over yet. Somebody, I had a video a while back where I talked about one of my greatest fears in One Piece, and it was that the Holy Knights would be Revolutionary Army opponents. Somebody went back to that video and they commented they're below revolutionaries at this point. I said, no!
dude,
Somebody said that, and I was like,
that?
please stop.
That's a legend.
I
would
was
give
so
you VIP on my Twitch chat.
I wasn't
That
I
is-
wasn't like I said, guys, I'm not upset. I'm disappointed. I take things on the chin. I'm a good sport. But fuck, dude, I did not think it would happen like this, dude. Come on, man.
Side. You just have to be like, yeah, what's wrong with fighting Karasu? Karasu's crazy. Just lock in on like Karasu and Sabo. Just like
And then they're gonna bring up like
admirals.
They're gonna bring up Inazuma. Inazuma, dude. Garlic versus Inazuma, please. Anything but that. But Sai, Gonko's gonna high diff Ahiru. Half the people are like, who the fuck is Ahiru?
Yo,
Oh my god.
Yeah, like we're gonna see the Yeti
dude,
guy fight
something.
Ushio or whatever.
Ushiano, Gamba, or Gambit.
Yeah,
Is it
those-
Gambit or I don't know.
Bro, I
Gambo,
don't know.
Gumbo.
I've done 4 videos on the
fucking
reps.
egg guy.
I'll never. If you listen, I've made obscure videos on Bogart and Kong and shit like that. I'm still and I have positive videos on Dragon and a full thing on the reps. I don't think I mentioned the commanders or their vice commanders. And if you catch me ever, but I think I'd more often say like, oh, the West Blue Commander, rather than give their name air on my channel. Like,
Yeah,
shit is
it's so
obnoxious.
I will admit, like I said, I'm a good sport. You know, if things don't go my way in One Piece, I'm chill. I take it on the chin. I laugh at it. If the Revolutionary Army commanders fight the Holy Knights like dead ass, not like, you know, Dragon Sabo, I'll give a pass to. I don't even want them to fight Karasu or Bello Betty. Like, I feel like they should be above them. Like, if they actually go high diff against the vice commanders, you're not gonna see me smile, guys. I'm gonna be dead ass. You're not gonna see me smile.
Sai's gonna have an emergency break.
Like that's gonna be one of the times where like he did not laugh. Like oh, Sai takes everything on the chin. He doesn't take. No. This one's different though. Like Sai will not take this one laying down.
That's when we get Dark Sai. Like,
yeah, the dark Sai is gonna come out. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, like
Evil
Ahiru
Sai
is the only name I'll mention.
That's gonna be the
for obvious
thumbnail. The
reasons.
thumbnail is gonna
It's
be me
great.
frowning.
And yeah, get AI to make a reverse smile.
Yeah,
It would be so egregious. But like, and the thing is, I am a little worried because Scopper. So like, we were in a precarious spot with Chopper when Chopper goes, "How is he hurting the Holy Knights? There must be some secret." And like, that was like an opening. Oh my God, there's something not hockey related that's accessible to everybody that might help here. And then Scopper goes, "You got Conqueror's hockey, baby." And then it's like, all right. It's bad, but at least we're still locking it in that it's like the fighters are fighting, and it's not going to be like we're going to see like Usopp like coat his Kabuto in salt and pepper and spice and everything nice, and then shoot Gunko, and then she's like, I can't regenerate. We're not going to see that. And it's like, but then here, if Rox is casually doing this and not aware of it, and it's to the point that Garland can acknowledge it, and we don't see any hockey. We don't see him putting in effort. It feels like there is a world where whatever Chopper was seeking for, he had to ask Rox, not Scopper. And Rox might have that information to the point where like he could have disseminated it without people knowing. And the reason why that's significant is because there's a world that Dragon knows that. And that's what he's been teaching, because we know that they've been pushing the Fishman Karate, but then wherever the hell that Sabo knows, which is like that dragon claw air stuff that Dragon seems to have, Sabo seems to have. Ivankov also has like the hell wink, and I'm gonna say it, the hell wink, and the thing that like Rox does in his introduction, where it's like it seems like a cannon fire. Those things are shown in a very similar light, and that move that Ivankov used, he did it to admirals, he did it to Kizaru, he did it to Kainu in Marineford. I'm not saying it was effective. Oda had to kind of hide Ivankov's effectiveness by making him Luffy's bodyguard, and Ivankov was essentially just like, I'm only here because that's Dragon's son, and I'm not really like, yeah, if that Ace guy, that's Dragon's son too, right? Luffy's like, nope, that's King of the Pirate. All right, I'm just looking for Luffy now, and that's kind of how Oda retracted Ivankov from like a lot of the situation. But there's a world that Dragon disseminated some kind of fighting technique that was counter to the Celestial Dragons, and this is the panel that I think that could be referenced for that. And it's also like there's also Kuma. Kuma also had like this air thing, but that was on the Devil Fruit side. But Sabo had that power pre-Devil Fruit. Ivankov thing isn't related to his Devil Fruit. Where's that air technique that's similar to what Rock's showing? Why is that something that we see as a kind of like thematic for the Revs? And I'm curious because maybe there's something there, and that's where your worst nightmare kind of comes
where
into
it comes
play.
in.
Yeah. And I made a video on that thematic being present in the Revs, and I'm curious what Oda has done. That's been throughout my channel, and we didn't have the rest of the Revs. And I'm gonna say it here, even when we got the rest of the Revs, I still didn't mention their asses because I don't want them to be showing up and fighting Maffy. Even Maffy, I don't want you to be like, Kame, and I was like,
no. A lot of people have been calling them the Holy Ropo. And guys, can you please stop slandering? Guys, can you leave my genociders alone? Guys,
the Holy Ropo.
Guys, can we stop, please?
Like, we're gonna see. No, you're gonna see it, right?
They're bullying me.
Harness comes down, and the Holy Ants are like, "What is this old man gonna do?" And then Harness pulls the wind knot, and he's like, "Ah!" And then it just kills them.
Yeah, that's.
Dude, this is the power.
That'd be
of
a
rocks.
dark day. And you know, some people think I'm putting on a face like, oh, his Sai likes his villain. I always liked villains, dude. You know, go before even these guys. I love villains, man. And my reasoning is very tame. Villains always lose. You know, even Garling. I was like, dude, guys, Garling's probably gonna be dead by the end of the series. And most villains are like, even Blackbeard's like that, Emu's like that. They're all gonna lose. But until they lose, they're gonna aura farm. They're gonna look cold as hell. Like, you know, without a good villain, you're not going to have a good story. So, you know, I love villains, man. I think they're a lot of fun to play with. And the thing is, you know, people like to relate shit to real life. And it's like, okay, in real life, you can't exactly root on bad guys like Garling. But in anime, you can, and it's fun. So seeing Garling get done in like this, it's so painful. The Holy Robo's so slanderous, man. I can't believe it. Oh,
even
God.
to that point, like, that's why we agree on so many things, even though we have a different perspective on like what we're looking for in the story. Like, the reality is that we meet in the middle where I'm making fun of these guys, and I'm making fun of it because it's like, it's terrible. And like, I don't want this to be so laughable, and neither do you. And it's because like without the good opposition, it just makes the main characters look sillier. You know what I mean? Like we went through this with the Arlong conversation, right? Like, the more you step away from it, it's like the fact that he's a good villain almost doesn't make sense, because then the good guys seem terrible. And it's like we get this conundrum where it's like the consistent part should be that, like, you know, it's de facto, like, these guys can handle everyone, right? Because otherwise then it's like, how is there oppressive force? How does that even make sense if they're losing to everybody? Like, and I constantly bring up the meme of from Doctor Strange. Like, the Holy Knights are like a terrible version of like Dormammu, where it's like and that's the restart thing that you're talking about, but from the good side perspective. And Dormammu's just like, the fuck is happening? Why is this guy showing up? But it's reversed. Dormammu is the all-powerful being that just lets the shit slide because he's annoyed. Whereas now we're putting it on the other side, where the Holy Knights just constantly die, constantly get ripped in half, and it's just like, the only way out is that they get fired and killed by Emu. That's their saving grace, apparently. Like, I don't understand. Like the Gorosei coming out of Egghead is so funny, because it's just like the vice admirals are like, should we go after them, sir? No, please, no, don't make us go back.
No more. No more, boys.
Saturn slaps the guy. What, you want me to be even more made fun of in the community? Like,
yeah, it's definitely something, man. Like, you know, and it's not a One Piece thing, like I said. Just go back to any series you like. You need a good villain. Without a good, like, think about Naruto, right? Oh, let's have Naruto without, like, Madara and Obito. Like, huh? Without Pain. It's like, okay. Like imagine they're there, but they're not fighters. It's like, oh, imagine Pain, but Pain loses to, like, Hinata. It's like, whoa, what? You know, then we wouldn't care about Pain anymore. Like, I do think we need good, scary villains. And the Holy Knights, man, they're not them. They're being carried by Emu. Even the Gorosei, right? People, and I kind of agree. It's like, oh, but the Gorosei, they didn't lose. It's like, okay, yeah, they didn't lose, but did they look good? Design-wise, yeah, nobody can argue against that. But feat-wise, like, I don't think so. Like, they didn't perform super well against the Straw Hats, at least. They barely got what they wanted at Egghead.
And like, I think there's another like the White Walkers in Game of Thrones is also a good example.
Oh my god, they were awful.
And that's in hindsight, but like going up to the war, they are in the same boat as, like, they're regenerating, they're unstoppable, they're all powerful, they converted a dragon, and then you get to the fight, spoilers, but like, it was anticlimactic on all fronts. There was so many things that were like, logic went out the door with the Dothraki, and like so many other things. But and like, I'm not saying, oh, I could write better, but like I'm trying to give an example that makes sense, where a lot of the thing when it came to the unity of like the Seven Kingdoms or whatever it's fucking called, and Westeros and everyone, they were like, we need to get dragon glass, we need to do this and that, because these things are effective to the White Walkers. And at the end of the day, none of that mattered, because all they did is one shot the entire army. And now if you went back and you made it that the solution to the problem was super scarce, they couldn't find dragon glass, they couldn't find all the things, but they had that one sword. And they made that sword super important, and they made it so that all of their tactics ran around that sword. Like, they had the same fight, but they had to protect the person with the sword, and they brought and opened the avenue for that sword to meet the thing. That would make all of their unity, everything, like, so much more meaningful. And it would probably have felt better when it's like, oh, they got one shot. Oh, but this was the tactic, because they were the solution was so scarce. And that's kind of where we're at here. It's like, it's a little bit in the same vein, but it's also like, we don't know where Oda's going. But like, it does sound silly to think that like Ahiru and them are gonna clap Garling's cheeks, right? But that's where we're kind of like, it might be like, I don't know. Like, we had come to a place where
we do know that Oda introduced them for a reason. They're not like, they had the whole ass text box and like a chapter essentially dedicated to them. It's like, the vice commanders of the Revs, they're gonna do something. I just hope it's not the Holy Knights.
And let's not go to a fictional place like that. Let's get to the reality that the lower trio, the weak Straw Hats, stalemated Saturn in his transformation, and they were injured. Robin wasn't even participating. Now just give them whatever is happening in this panel. Just give Nami, Usopp, Chopper. Okay, erase them. Give Chopper whatever technique is happening here, because he's the only one who technically cares and is combative. And then Chopper's now a threat, an insane threat. Like, he just like suplexes a dude with whatever Rox is doing here. No hockey, nothing. And now the Holy Knights should be running from Chopper. And that's legitimate. But then it's like, okay, now we can give every combatant that. And, you know, not to put a theory into the spot here, but I do like, you know, on this same panel, the dialogue with like Eris, where she goes like, oh, well, the Viz changes it a little bit. She goes, I'm part of the Davy clan now too. They welcome me among them, even though as a pirate, I understand the fate of the clan, so let me down. You know, it's interesting. Like the TCB went with I think a stronger version. She goes, I'm a full-fledged part of the clan.
Yeah.
Which, you know, debatable what that really means. But I do feel like there might be a world where whatever Garling is recognizing here, like, hey, it's taking me longer to regenerate, and then the we don't have the other Holy Knight girl's name, right?
The blonde one,
This
no.
no, well, the black-haired one right next to him. Oh wait, oh, she's blonde. You're right. You said
Yeah,
that in the
she's
thing.
blonde. I like saying blonde because people are like, what the? And it's like, yeah, Toy made her blonde. Don't look at me.
Yeah. So the blonde one here, she goes, but now we know that he's one of the Davy clan. That almost feels like, okay, it's taking him longer to generate, and maybe it's a Davy clan thing, and then followed up by, you know, the context of anyone with the Davy clan who gets caught will be put through agony. We also have the Celestial Dragon saying that there is like a mortal danger to keeping the Davy clan alive, like to the point that they were willing to kill them before the games because they were like, yo, we need to kill them. It's not enslaving them, which was low-key reflected in Rox's introduction with Harold. It was a weird thing that I almost wondered. He said, hey, if we get captured, you'll be turned into a slave. He didn't say we. And that was reflective on both translations, pretty sure. And so now it's like, oh, he was actually right, because like Davy clans are probably just going to be straight up killed. It's not like a buccaneer. It's not like a normal slave. They were just like, yo, kill them. And then you add Eris's line of like being part of it. And she's like, and she's also saying it like, in a sort of like surviving combative way. She's like, you wouldn't have married me if I was this weakling who couldn't protect one child. So I almost wonder if there's a Davy clan secret that allows them to, you know, do this kind of damage to the Holy Knights. And it might not be as crazy as someone thinks. It like there are several things in the One Piece world that like, and the best like, current example I think would be the Hoppo army that has a special martial art that is like so powerful that people can't recreate it. But also,
the
it was
that
like
you're putting so much onus on it. The special martial arts, their most powerful.
Yeah, I mean,
techniques.
because that technique is such an interesting one. It's shown exactly like Whitebeard's Gura Gura, and it's described like it's supposed to go through any defense, which is interesting. But then also you have character like Zoro who's witnessing it and is like, they're on my list now. he goes, I gotta watch out for those guys. The Hoppo army, that's dangerous. And that's kind of wild for Zoro to say. And then you also go back to that the leader of it, Dan Zhao, was one of Garp's ops, and Garp is, especially by God Valley standard, a demon. And so, like, and that specific martial art was considered an inheritance, that as a leader, you would have the strongest version of it. That's how you become the next person. So I almost wonder if it's something like that. And that's not the only lineage, power, discrepancy type of thing. And another version of it I could see that almost seems plausible, especially because Eris looks like Robin, is that maybe it's knowledge based. It could be knowledge based, and it could apply to why Rox knows so much, right? Like it could be that, like, you know, when you're talking about when the Celestial Dragons are like, oh my god, they're an existential risk to our life, they would also say that about the scholars of Ohara. And so like they would want them dead on the spot because they could awaken the thing. And so like that was an understanding. It's not like they are all powerful. It's literally just knowledge based. So much so that they would kill an 8-year-old for just having that knowledge. And it could be like how Robin was like not able to denounce her association. Like all the scholars like, please don't say you're an archaeologist. She was like, no, I am. What? I earned the right. And it's like, I'm a full-fledged archaeologist. I passed the test. Like, I'm not going to denounce my association to you guys. You are my chosen family, blah, blah, blah. Like, or found family. It could be that. And then she's chased for the end of her life, right? And it could be that too. It could be that Eris joins in and she gains some knowledge. And now Just like how Robin was able to gain it so quickly in a year, 2 years, whatever. Eris, 2 years in, she's able to have that same amount of knowledge as well, and is also a threat. But I'm not too sure. I think it's a combative thing. It could be nothing. It could be something. We don't have enough yet. But the main thing is that Garling is my jumping point here. It's like he acknowledged that something that Rox is doing is different. And that makes me think it's Xavier related, honestly. That makes me think it's Xavier related.
I could see that. Yeah, we don't see Rox with Conqueror's Haki. I could just say it's maybe Conqueror's Haki because we don't see the slash. Of course, we like you said, we don't see like the lightning on him right here, but maybe like beforehand we did, or he did use it. We don't know for sure. I think it would be interesting if it was like a Davy Clan related thing, like you said. Like they have something special. That's why they're so hated. Because the Celestial Dragons know something about these guys, right? They're like, oh, the despised Davy Clan. Maybe it's because, like you said, they have a way to round the regeneration. I like that idea. And, you know, this now brings us... Oh, go ahead.
Well, the other part I just want to add, too, is just that the reason why I think the martial arts things makes a lot of sense is if Blackbeard also has it or has learned it somehow. Yeah. And that would explain why, even in this chapter... They are the off-screen lineage. And the off-screening is due to the fact that if Oda were to reveal how they were fighting, we would be able to put 2 and 2 together super quickly. Like if Oda showed us how Blackbeard fought on Amazon Lily, it would be... I mean, look, in this chapter, we open it up, and it's like that. And then we end it, and it's like that. We don't even see how he fights the Dami Reversi. And that is a significant too, because we know that Dami Reversi characters are also immortal. Mm-hmm. So it is an odd situation to have them be in, to be honest.
Yeah, I like to imagine that Rox also just did trial and error. Like, imagine that wasn't his first guess. He's like, like, he just keeps on whooping these guys so hard that he just eventually figures it out. Like, trial, like, okay, Conqueror's Haki, no. Advanced Conqueror's Haki, maybe? Davy Clan secret martial arts, yeah, kind of works. Like it's just one after another. Oh, that'd be so painful.
Level 100 isekai character who's just so much stronger than everyone else, so he just has
hits him with the Subaru ReZero shit. Just like keep on trying different dialogue options until everything works out perfectly.
Yeah,
God, that'd be so sad. I gotta ask now. Rox's dad, is he a weakling?
It didn't get cleaned up. It did not get cleaned up.
Yeah, and that too. Dude, Rox's dad looks so scary. I'm glad you're one of the few people I noticed that too. Like, he looks horrifying. Blacked out eyes, blacked out teeth. Like, why does he look like that in Eris's POV?
Yeah, the Viz did clean it up a little bit. It is better, but it's not like so much so. You know what I mean?
It's still scary, dude. It's something straight out of Sinister. I told Braga about this, and Braga had no idea what I was talking about. So I just gave it up. I was like, okay, Braga, if you're not seeing how scary this guy is, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, guys, look at him in Eris's POV. Like, not the Domi Reversi dad, but like the dad that was normal. Like, I almost think he looks more normal as a demon. It's insane.
Yeah, the TCB hit, like the TCB, their scan was terrible, I guess, on that part. But like on the Viz, it is cleaner, but it's still not like good. He's not, okay, to put into perspective, if I were walking down the street, I would be like, here, let me go on that side of the road. Let me go on that side.
If I was a girl, I'd probably clutch my purse a little bit harder. Like, whoa, what the fuck? If I had a kid, I'd probably be like, hey, either. Jimmy, get inside.
Even on the Viz, like the guy in the background next to, like, in their wait, hold on. In the Viz version of the thing, their nose is fixed, but their face is not. Like the TCB version
something
of it,
going on with
like
that
a
panel.
giant like dangling nose. But then no, they have a small nose, but now their head is just gone. Like
at first I thought it was just maybe TCB, like, no offense, like being a little bit lazy, like they didn't want to clean it too good. But if the Viz is also like this, I was like, maybe it's just Oda, which makes sense. Time crunch, Oda was sick. This was the sick Oda chapter. And plus, I don't know if you guys read Kagarbachi, but like the art style Kagarbachi is phenomenal. But the last couple of chapters, it's been kind of rough. He's had like unfinished like spreads. And that's because, jokes aside, like making $1 million and have editors, being a mangaka, it's kind of, you have to draw a lot, dude. So maybe Oda just like didn't put his best foot forward for this one, or maybe like an editor drew it. But yeah, it's a cursed ass panel. Which now this does bring us to Eris's line of wanting to meet rocks at Leloucia. Hilarious stuff. I'm telling you, man, just what horrible planning. I guess this is the fate of the D clan, just always working uphill battles, just one island to another. And Oda, they said that the world of One Piece is like many times larger than the real world. Like, that's like saying you're going from like, I don't know, like Rwanda all the way to like, what's another like place that's getting destroyed? Just anywhere.
Well,
just think of like any war
Rwanda's
zone.
not getting destroyed right now.
You go from like
keep
one war zone to another.
Rwanda's the cleanest city in the world right now. Like, this is
Right now, Par. But in the past,
yeah, but you said like this place is getting destroyed right now. I'm like, I don't know about that one. There's a little bit north. There's a little bit of
saying, brother. Like,
another issue, you know, a resort being built. But you know, it's like being like on 2000 in 2001, going from like Manhattan to Queens. It's like maybe like I don't know if that's the best.
Ooh,
move,
here's a good one. You're in early 1990s America when the UPS mail bomber was going around, and you own 2 homes that the mail bomber dropped off bombs to. It's like, whoa, what is that luck?
That's crazy. It's like going from Hiroshima to Nagasaki. Like, oh shit, little boy came here, and you're like, oh shit, is that a fat boy? Like, you just don't...
Exactly. Or like you're in
that's
Japan during the candy crisis, where there's a guy like replacing candy with like opioids or something. Like, and you just buy 2 packets from different gas stations, and then you got opioids on both ends. You're cooked.
Yeah. It's like after RFK said Tylenol is bad for pregnant women, so you take acetaminophen instead, and then you're like,
wait a minute, the
Tylenol,
ingredients.
right, guys? Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, I
it's
realized
something.
if you moved this panel on where Rox goes, "Don't be an idiot," and you slid it to the end, it'd almost make more sense if she goes, "So let's find a way to survive, and can we meet again on the Lucia Zivek?" And he goes, "Don't be an idiot." Like, that would fit so well. I'm almost thinking like, oh, maybe Oda flipped it, like he fucked up in the edit, but like. When I read that, I was in disbelief because like I'm thinking about all the reasons why this is meaningful. Moda is a thing, whatever. But then it doesn't matter because like at the end of the day,
we had that nice Blackbeard
island.
reference at Leloucia though.
Yeah, but like, what are we gonna say? That's Blackbeard's younger brother. That's not.
Here's
Rox?
the thing:
like,
the Davy clan was at God Valley. There's a good chance that the Marshall clan was at Leloucia.
And then we're saying that like Dr. Blackbeard's lineage didn't come from Rox, it came from the Marshall clan because like, or did Teach like bang a person at like 4 years old, become an orphan on a separate island in Shadeport, get picked up by the
that's a tough one.
And then we span past that, and it's like, okay, Leloucia's gone. And then, oh, you know what? My favorite part of this is that this actually circles back that regardless if Dragon knows the Davy clan's secret about how to hurt the Holy Knights, if we're saying that the Davy clan had some part, if Eris makes it to Leloucia and all these years she taught people in Leloucia, where are the survivors at? They're with the Revs. So now it might be Dragon's like, well, shit, it's a good thing you picked up these guys, Sabo, because now we have a way to fight the Holy Knights. I was about to wage war without this information. Now we know. Thanks, Eris. And then we just see like a grandma there, like,
you know what?
Like,
what if that's the thing where like we learn that Eris is actually Luffy's mom?
How would that? Yeah. The dragon is out here with cougars. Cool. Let's do it.
No, because like they're both on the island right now. What if they meet each other?
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't go, what if that kid that's on Eris's arm is Crocodile?
It all makes sense now. My parents are related.
Turned into Luffy's mom.
I love that meme. My parents are related.
Yeah. Like I could have went to that's Luffy. No, 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 no. It has to go through the Croco Mom part first. He has to get the stamp of insanity approved first. Like, guys, what if that I mean, like, I would sooner believe that one of the people that Kuma saved is Luffy's mom, but like, honestly,
I mean, that's where Ginny was for a minute before, you know, before he got the whole Bonnie thing. People actually thought that Ginny was Luffy's mom because she was eating a piece of meat. They were like, "Oh my god, Luffy loves meat." No, I'm not even. That was a real thing.
I know.
You remember that, yeah?
In hindsight, it's, you know what's also funny in hindsight? The amount of people who will deny that they ever thought that. And I'm like, no,
dude,
you guys came
I
with the
swear
stream.
to God, people were eating that one up for a little bit, and I was like, guys, I don't know about this one. Like,
Par, how can't you see that?
That's why, like, the whole Tritoma thing. It's like, I don't see the Tritoma thing. You know, they're like, oh, I think it's like the smile is what people are saying, right? Like, oh my god, Tritoma, she has the same smile as Luffy. I'm like, okay, but most of the characters kind of do. Like, I need more than that. And then the 5'6" and the hair and the earring. It's like, if we had something a little bit more substantial, I'll even take the meat thing from Tritoma, but we don't have the meat thing. I need something more for the Tritoma theory. I do not see that one at all.
It's just funny.
Yet
for me, it's not
new
the
information
part of
will
the
change
theory.
it, but right now, no.
It's, for me, it's not the part of the theory existing. It's the part where it's like, I can't believe. Well, are we even reading the same story? Par, how can't you see this?
Yeah,
I'm like,
that one's like, I don't know.
Come on, guys, please.
And it's like, I haven't heard anything convincing for like the love sickness death. Like, oh, Dragon just abandoned her. It's like, wait, why? Like, she's like, that's not. I mean, technically, Rayleigh's abandoning Shaki like multiple years and months on end, and she's not dying from love sickness. I mean,
yeah,
guys.
Yeah, to that extent.
Like,
right?
if you have
like,
a kid with the person, I think you'll be fine. We saw that Gloriosa survived, and she barely got with Whitebeard. At least she was in close vicinity. Like, there's no way you die from love sickness if you actually got with Dragon and got like a kid. I don't think so, at least.
Yeah. That's my thing too with Shaki thing. It's like the love sickness is just that it's like an unanswered like thing, and then you die, right? Versus in Shaki's situation, she has her answer. Her love is answered. It's fulfilled to a certain extent, and that's why she's stayed the same looking basically to the current day. And, you know, Gloriosa probably didn't pass away because her love was answered but not fulfilled, which is why she aged the way she did. Whereas Tritoma's probably was never answered, and that's why she died.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, if you have a kid, you're not going to die. In my opinion, you're not going to die of love sickness.
Unless the sex was that bad. Like,
yeah. And then they're like, oh, but they're like, here's the thing. She gave birth to Luffy, but Luffy couldn't live on the island. And it's like, okay, so why does Tritoma live on the island then? And why doesn't she just go with Luffy? Yeah. And then you can't like answer that. You're like, oh, but she's the Empress. I mean, Shaki was, Gloriosa was, they left the island. Like, it's not like you're landlocked to that one place. Like, you can leave.
And Boa was enslaved and then became the Empress. So even from that point of view, like, it's like technically fine.
Yeah, there's nothing about the Tritoma theory that sells me yet. Minus that the only thing I think about Tritoma that makes sense to me is that she's a girl that's age appropriate, that kind of fits the role. Like, she's kind of the same age as Dragon, and even then it's like the black hair thing, right? People are like, oh my god, she has black hair though. It's like, does she? Like, the Holy Knight next to Garling, we think she has black hair. She's fucking blonde, dude.
I'm waiting for when it's just the same color as Yamato's. Like,
oh my
horns or whatever, because Yamato's horns are drawn black to white, but then we get it and it's like green. It's like and the people are like saying her name Tritoma is that the flower that is Yamato's horn color. So like, I'm ready for that, and like at that point it's like, whatever, I don't care, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Saturn's purple in his form. I couldn't get that from the thing. Loki's hair is purple. You know, like, I couldn't see the shading.
If I had to go to a Luffy mom theory, I still believe in the one where it's like, Film Red showed us Luffy's mom. Not like fully, but we have like the image of a lady singing with a black-haired baby in a little village. I think that's Luffy, Fuchsia Village. That's probably Luffy's mom. Like it's literally an unaccounted for character singing to a baby that looks like Luffy. I think that's Luffy's mom. I think it's as simple as that. And we'll get her later, not now. We'll get it during like a dragon flashback.
I do think we're getting it, obviously, but
yeah, I think we're getting it.
Now. Yeah,
like there's no like just like how I think Dragon's important, I think Luffy's mom will be important. That could be like a whole thing of his reason too. Like maybe Dragon was always iffy about like leaving the Navy because we know, or we can make a great assumption that Dragon does not leave after God Valley.
Yeah,
Dragon stays for a while. Like people are like, oh my god, this is what drove Dragon to be a rev. This is one thing, yes, but it's not the thing. So it could be Luffy's mom is like, hey, Dragon, you want to change the world? Fucking do something, dude. And then she's the one who said it, right?
Yeah, I think it's more than obvious that Dragon doesn't leave yet because he is super naive, green thumb. Like he's
and I think Dragon said he learned how to fight while he was in the Navy. Brother, this Dragon does not have, he doesn't know red from blue yet. Like he's like you, he's colorblind. So I do think that, Dragon's going to stay. And then, of course, he has a relationship with Akainu. Akainu didn't even join the Navy yet. He's going to be with the Navy for a couple of years before he leaves. So I think it's going to be something with the mom or another celestial dragon.
Akainu flip-flop from Dragon. Kainu gets put in as a cadet on a cleansing event, and he's having the time of his life.
Oh my god, my boy!
You're dead!
Yeah, dude, imagine Akainu has his own game. Hey, cadets, let's see how many tranks we can shoot off. Ha ha ha! My goat!
It's their fault that they're poor and can't afford to join the world government.
Yeah, dude, I love it. I love like role playing the bad guy. Which there's some people who don't like it. They're like, oh, Sai, can you stop acting like a villain? It's like it's fun, dude. You can't be a villain in real life. Just live it. It's like I treat One Piece like D&D. I'm not some skeleton dungeon master, but guess what? In D&D, I am. Yeah, I'm over here killing people, enslaving people. Yeah, it's fantasy, brother. So. Maybe in One Piece, I do let it out a little bit. I'm like, you know what? Maybe Akainu was right. He kind of is. But maybe the Celestial Dragons are cool, man. I don't know. The next thing we see is Big Mom again. She has the Seiryu fruit. She wants to give it a Katakuri. Would have been really cool to get. But instead, Dragon, this monster comes in...
Kaido.
Who'd I say?
Dragon.
Monkey D. Dragon, that scumbag. Yeah, a little bit of a slip there. That'd be so funny.
Dragon gets he just like gets radicalized by the previous chapter where he sees all these monsters and then he sees his dad show up and then that silhouette is actually just Dragon.
Yeah.
That would be insane.
So Kaido comes in, he smacks Big Mom, gets the fruit. Fun stuff. We were kind of always under the assumption that Big Mom gave the fruit to Kaido because she kind of said it like that. But here we see it's not so simple. Kaido smacks her and takes it, which you could say that, Big Mom let it happen. She could have fought back, but she didn't try that hard because it's Kaido. I think there's a world where that could be true. But yeah, either way, Kaido takes it and he is laughing it up, dude. Hey, to be fair, if I was Kaido, I'd do the same thing. That's a big fruit. That's not like a small potato thing. That's a big potato, dude. Yeah, take that fruit, brother.
One-shotted too. And I think a comment pointed out that this is like the first time someone has eaten a devil fruit and hasn't like been like, ew,
disgusted.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on demon time on top of demon time. But this is an interesting thing because Katakuri awakens his fruit first, canonically. And honestly, the dragon fruit for Katakuri, I kind of want a what if where Katakuri is the
people are doing fan art. He looks cool with it, man.
Yeah, and then let's not forget that Kaido doesn't awaken it, and maybe it's because he did steal it. And so I wonder what that means for Blackbeard, the devil fruit stealer.
Hey, he said the fruit chose him.
Yeah, but we could have a line where Kaido's in his fruit. He's like, whoa, no, the fruit chose me, and is in his delusion. But in the end of the day, it's Big Mom got it, and then that's Thatch. And then Kaido swoops in and takes it, and it's like, I wonder. I mean, I doubt it because then you have to say that Ivankov is the true thing. And I don't want to see an Ivankov Seryu. I think what he got ended up working out for him. So like, it goes back to that whole conversation. It's like, where do we draw the line of the devil fruit has a will of its own and it chooses its person, right? Like,
Yeah.
is it the Chef Boyardee?
It's like the whole thing where the devil fruit chooses its people, like that's such a wacky one. I do believe that devil fruits have a will, but saying like a fruit chooses somebody is so odd. Because it's like you said, it's not like the fruit is moving to the person. Like it's not like it's like, oh my god, I want Kaido to eat me. I'm going to fly into Kaido's mouth. That doesn't happen, guys. When the fruit has a will of its own, it's like, okay, like maybe you can communicate with the fruit, like Kurama out of Naruto. Maybe the fruit has people it kind of likes more. That's fair. But it's not like the fruit is like sentient and it's like growing legs and walking towards Luffy or something.
Maybe it's like Toy Story. Maybe off screen.
Yeah, off screen.
Yeah. If I saw one sound effect off of the devil fruit, like in that panel, and it's like, and then there's like a move, like a line of like thing, and it's like unreasonably, that's just it's just like rattled because it's flying in the air, right? If I got one sound effect, one line, I would roll with you guys. Hey, yo, it's spinning in the air. Didn't want to go in Kaido's mouth, like something like that, But even then, it's like.
Yeah, it's like, oh, the devil fruit eluded us for 900 years. It's like, did it though? Like, sure, okay, I will agree, will of its own, but it might have spawned in a bad place, sure, but you could still like walk and get it. It's not like it's, avoiding you. Like you walk into a room, your celestial dragon. It's not like the fruit hides in a corner. You know what I mean?
It's not like who is like, get back in the chest, go, you stop cutting out of it, and then or like Luffy was like, oh yeah, this fruit rolled onto my plate, onto my fork, and then like I just decided to eat it.
Yeah, like so like even like Blackbeard saying the fruit chose me. It's like, sure, there's like a thing where like the will is like, oh my god, I was waiting for a Davy Clan member, but in reality, it didn't choose him. Like it was for Thatch.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I believe that fruits, yes, will of its own, but at some point we have to say, like, what is the fruit really doing on its own, though? Yeah, funny stuff. But now getting on to like something big, absolutely massive. Saturn and Emu are having a conversation, and Emu's like, yo, is Rock's dead? Saturn, who's been working very hard, so he decides to like, take a little rest on a hill. He says, nope, things are getting out of hand here. Unprecedented events are happening. I'm afraid if this destruction keeps on going on, something else might be unleashed. And Emu does not like that mindset. He's like, whoa, wait, so it might be unleashed? Which, what does Viz translate that as? Let me see. It will birth something entirely new. Okay.
The birth of something entirely new is kind of nuts.
Yeah, what is that? Unleashing is like a little bit different.
No, we risk something else being unleashed.
Yeah,
the birth of something entirely new.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with that.
Is different. Because like that would negate even the theory that you were talking about, the Top Musica-esque thing.
Yeah.
That would not fit this. You couldn't birth if Top Musica is not new, it's ancient. Saying something new means that it wouldn't be in the mural,
all right,
ancient weapon.
You know what we need?
What?
Sandman.
Yeah.
Sandman, please come out and clarify this line. TCB says one thing, Viz says another. I guess I could like look up a different translator.
You wouldn't say Shirahoshi as Poseidon is the birth of something entirely new. That would be not correct. I would go as far as that's incorrect.
Yeah.
That would be completely incorrect.
Unleashed,
yeah. You could say Shirahoshi unleashed Poseidon. Like that is her birth, unleashed it. You could say that, but entirely new is odd. Yeah, that's a different one. There's a danger that such wanton destruction. Stephen Paul with a wonton. Wonton with the 5 gifted subs. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I'm looking at another translation. They do say birth to something new instead of unleash. Yeah, so 2
Wow.
for birth. So Viz looking good on this one. But
That's
yeah, before then, when we
crazy.
just had Unleash, I was leaning towards like a taught music a demon. Like, oh, like Emu's trying to. I mean, it does still try to. It does sound like Emu's trying to stop something from coming up. We don't know
Yeah.
what though. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, even
Mm-hmm.
saying birth that's something new, that's still like ominous, right? That changes the context, but it doesn't change. Like, okay, Emu's trying to stop something. Like, what could possibly be birth from this situation?
Yeah. Yeah. I really this is this that hey, this is literally uncharted territory at that point.
Yeah,
Like like to reel back to the Unleash part, I was thinking it's like Davy Clan related, but like I don't think it's again unleashing something new kind of tells me that there's something that like okay, if we were to go on a limb and say that the devil fruits that are treasured here are native, like they're from God Valley, then maybe the tree is here. You know, like maybe they also, because there is something that like I think the Garling said like to that Emu, there's like something else that's there.
yeah,
Like it wasn't necessarily like it'd be weird if he was like, my kids, that's what I want to show you, Emu. Like that would be odd, right? And then it's like the Davy kind fit for part of it. But there is a world that there was something else, and like I forget the dialogue exactly. But like maybe the tree that creates devil fruits, maybe that's here. Maybe that's why it's called God Valley. Like I don't know, but also like there has been no allusion to that being the case, which is the odd part, right? Like we've at this point spanned the entire island. And like if that's not mentioned as a treasure, how do you fit that in a treasure chest? Right? It wasn't like here are the treasures and then there's just like a tree in the background and like like I don't really know, but like that's kind of the birth of something entirely new. Sounds like a new devil fruit power. I don't know. But I also don't know why that would be the case. Where it's like if this goes on, like the birth of something entirely new might happen, and they're like, that must not happen. And like I talked about this before, like the Emu's reaction to it is something that is kind of unprecedented, especially here if this is the case, because in Elbaf, it was that Mare Joie was on fire. And I was like, you guys are taking too long. We got to end this quickly. Emu shows up. And now with this situation, like they didn't even do that with Luffy turning into Nika. Like in
yeah.
hindsight, now that we know this, right? Isn't it entirely plausible that the Holy Knights could have just teleported to Onigashima at the moment that like the Gorosei were like, oh my god, the Nika fruit might awaken. We gotta kill him. And so they were like, oh, we'll have Guernica do it, right? And then Guernica fails. And it's like they technically could have just Abyss teleported there, but again, suspending disbelief there. So like here, it's like, but they still have that initiative. They're like, oh, like this thing hasn't happened for 800 years, but they wouldn't say this is entirely new. If we don't stop this fight and we don't help Kaido, it might the birth of something. They couldn't say that for Nika, and I don't know what they're talking about now.
A new
They can't be
demon.
talking about ancient weapon,
A new
and they're
demon
not
that
talking
they've
about like
never seen
Roger's egg.
before. Yeah, not Roger's egg.
Yeah, because that could be that, but like that also wouldn't make sense either. Because which came first, the chicken or the egg, right? So like the egg had to come from the chicken. So like unless they've never seen the chicken before, then I don't know why they would be afraid of the egg hatching. So like it's even from that standpoint, if we're talking hypothetically about like something being born. I don't really know. Maybe they were worried about Marco the Phoenix Unleashed.
Yeah, Marco the Phoenix, guys. It's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
that's a crazy translation.
Yeah, I don't know where to go with this. I do like the idea of the top music a demon, or maybe like if they keep on fighting, like a hockey portal opens up and boom, there's the demon that Oda was talking about like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But It's a toughie. You could be, I've seen people saying like the route where it's like, oh, like it could give birth to the next Joy Boy, or it could set the stage for the next generation, and it's like, sure, that's not like bad, but I feel like that would be kind of underwhelming at the same time. Like, oh,
Yeah,
if we keep on fighting, it's gonna cause dissonance amongst the world and how people feel about celestial dragons. It's like, well, I mean, it's kind of always been the case, but yeah.
yeah.
I do lean towards like Emu's genuinely afraid of something, but we just don't know what.
I don't know with Emu at this point, bro. Like Emu, like if the Davy Clan's so unlucky that they're choosing the two nuke locations, and then is Emu the super lucky one that just happens to choose the like Lucia as a choice just because it's close? It's like if you had luck like that, why worry about anything? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and then the whole thing with like unleash versus birth. I mean, you could say like it'll give birth to a new situation, and that's where the unleashing could work. But
Yeah.
even then, I don't know where to go with this one. I think it's really cool. Definitely sets up the next chapter. I think it does add like a good amount of mystery, which is, where you can kind of see like Emu being, I wouldn't say justified, but like something more is going on with Emu and their mission, right?
Yeah.
I think Oda can easily make that the case. But yeah, some good stuff.
I mean,
yeah, go for it.
there's a danger that's such a wanton destruction. So like there's a world where like it was something that they know. Maybe okay, so like for example, I've floated this idea, like the cleansing events having some kind of threshold, right? I think they told us this there's 100,000 people that are being cleansed, right? And maybe there's sacrifices to something that the world government has that like the sacrifices count towards this thing being born. And maybe that like it's okay, you know what it would be like? It'd be like in Rimuru, like when he slaughters like 1 million people, a new demon lord is born, right?
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea a lot.
And it might be that like depending on what you slaughter, because like now pirates and like holy knights, celestials might be dying. It might be that that might birth something entirely new that they have no control over, and what that might like hand itself to like is an odd situation. And I think like the only place I'm kind of like leaning towards is like, okay,
Oh my god, imagine like the
just
cleansing event is actually justified. Like there is a reason why they do, like, of course celestial dragons, like they twisted the meaning behind it because they're treating it as like a hunting game. But maybe like back in the
yeah,
day, like these tournaments,
it was
these
needed.
cleansing events were necessary. Like they had to
Yeah,
happen for some reason that we don't know of yet.
yeah. So I
That'd be
like that
crazy.
idea. And the way I would frame it, if I were to like put it into like a full theory, would be like it's like the Thanos situation where it's like Thanos was a villain, but then in hindsight, people are like, "Yo, Thanos!" Like even in meme, they're like, "Oh, yo, Thanos was kind of right with the half people gone with the snap thing." But like in
Yeah.
this sort of situation, like maybe it's for their survival, maybe pass away, but or maybe it's something like if I were to put an end part of the theory, who benefits from this? Maybe it was Garling. If Garling is the champion, maybe the champion gets the fruit of the thing, and maybe that fruit is a new yokai. You know what I mean? Like maybe the yokai transformations that the Gorosei have are created from these events. And so like, the fear that the people got, like the nightmares that Killingham conjures up from individuals, maybe those yokai are created as like an amalgamation of the fear that was generated on the island after the cleansing event, and that is given to the champion. And that's when we get Garling and he's a Gorosei and he has a transformation, that we find out that that is the ultimate fear that God Valley's cleansing event created, right? Like I could see that world. It's hard to put it into a coherent theory because that's fully not based on like, hey guys, we saw this and leads to that. Like that's
Yeah.
full theory,
So
So,
it's like
but
more like
I could
head
see a world.
canony.
Yeah, and it would be kind of off of like the birth of something entirely new, and like I could see that. But then we're playing a crazier game because it's like, okay, so how many cleansing events have they done? It's not just five. Like that would mean that there's so many of these yokai, like
You know,
and
it's funny because thinking back, like Skypiea, right? Arc that has a lot of implications. One of the things they did was a sacrifice for the gods. They were gonna sacrifice that girl, Kalgara's sister, to appease the rain, sun, blah blah, all these different gods to help
Lisa?
hopefully cure something, to cure the green disease that they got. It's like, yo,
Yeah.
what if that like some version of that is actually true? Like it's like, oh, they do need to cleanse people for a god or demon or deity,
Yeah.
and that's why they had to do these cleansing events. And then of course, after 900 years, the meaning of the game is kind of lost with the current celestial dragons, but Emu and the Gorosei, they know like this is necessary. Like we have to do this. And then
Or
obviously it's for Garling and the boys, it's like a field trip where you just kill people.
I think if I were to make a theory on it, the other part that I would include is the Lazy Bone Island where Brooke got summoned as a demon lord. Like those guys had the formula. They had the circle, but maybe they didn't have the right sacrifices. And they did acknowledge the things that they gave up for the thing. And then when Brooke showed up, he's like, panties? And they're like, and then she gave it. And then they're like, oh, that's what we need. And then after that situation, they were like, we need to do it again. Make sure we have underpants this time.
Yeah.
And so it might be that they had the right thing, and that's what they're gonna summon a new demon lord, a new yokai, and it's literally that. It's just that it requires what you put in is what you get out, and that's where the Gorosei and Emu are kind of at right now. It's like, yo, we got to be a little worried about what we're putting in. If we're putting a bunch of pirate lives, that might be really problematic.
Yeah.
I don't know what the differentiation might be, but it might be that because then you're running with the world where it's like if they're saying like we don't know what is birthed from this, then the Garling's transformation in the hypothetical, maybe that thing is a problem for the world government,
And that's how Garling becomes like a champion of God Valley because he tames the demon or something. But this is going to get into dicey territory because that would start painting the world government as good guys to an extent if they are like quelling this ancient threat or they're meeting the quota for the world. It's like
like they're sacrificing themselves to deal with this, right? Like it might be that if you do this level of like carnage, that for example, let's say that Whitebeard was evil and he went with his Gura, went to an island, flipped it over and killed everybody there. And then a demon spawns from it, right? And it's like, to prevent that, what do the world government do? They put a tamper on everybody. And they're like, okay, we have to leak this thing every 3 years. And this is how it's done. This is how the leaking happens, and we tame it, right? And I see Sai is like, write that shit down, write that shit down. The world government might be good. It's like,
it's a good theory. I'm all about this.
Yeah. So it's like there's a world where that pans out. It's just a question of I think the main thing that would help us is if Oda slows down God Valley. Like if he takes,
he's not slowing down, dude.
No, but like even you were on the standpoint where it's like maybe next chapter we get pulled away. And I think if he does that, then it would be perfect setup because then we go back to Elbaf and we slow it down by giving us like Emu stuff, what Emu's capable of, what Dami Reversi is, how to fight it, Killingham's role. And then we get the last act, the surprising act 3 of God Valley. Oda loves the rule of 3, act 3. That would make sense. I think that would play well. Now Oda could pull the curtain back now, but timeline wise it might be a little spooky. But if someone were to put a gun to my head and come up with a theory on this, that's kind of where I'd be, even prior to the birth into something entirely new. Because that's the thing with the yokai, is that they're not generally entirely new. They're all based on history. We just don't know like why that fits in the world. But like, let's
Yeah.
say we took down a village that had a history of offering to a god that like a spider bull god that comes from the sea. That's the Yuki or whatever, you know, like and then you slaughter them, and that's their fear. That's the thing that they're appeasing. Let's say, for example, we slaughter all of Shandora and Skypiea, like Anello was about to, and and then the god that they were like, imagining comes to life. What would that be? It would be Kashigami, a giant snake god, and then you'd have a god, a yokai that looks like a snake. Boom. That's kind of where I'd fit, where it's like, another version of that's like, oh, Dressrosa. This is a stretch, but it'd be like they were like, oh my god, Luffy's a giant 18-foot monkey demon person. And then if you slaughtered all of them and that was their fear, maybe you get a yokai that's like that. So it's like, honestly, maybe I do have enough to make this theory, but
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I think this guy P is the easy layup for like demon god celestial dragons
Yeah.
might not have been like doing this for no reason, because the hunting games it came from somewhere. Like it's gonna be like some
Yeah.
kind of like old tradition they had in the Void Century that had some different purpose. Like
Oh.
seeing this right now and saying, oh yeah, like this is good in, well, quote, good in a way. Yeah. What's up?
It's kind of perfect. On the thing that says a birth of something entirely new is a dragon. So it could be that everyone on the island is like fearful of the dragon. Kaido unironically put the fear of a dragon. They're taking celestial dragon, like that's their thing. It could be that Garling is a dragon, like a Western dragon, maybe, or an Eastern dragon, or no, Western.
Western,
It could be
come
that.
on.
Yeah. It could be that.
No
like everyone's
Easterns.
seeing like a silhouette of a dragon. You think of God Valley, you think of gods, you think of what to fear, celestial dragons. It might be like some amalgamation of a dragon. And that's what Garling ends up his yokai as. I swear, guys, if this ends up
We're
panning out
correct.
and I don't put out a video, I'm sorry, guys.
At least we had it here. We theory
Yeah.
crafted pretty hard. I love this theory too, by the way. Like I've always tried to like I think we joked about this like a while back too, right? Like, oh, what was the previous version during the Reverie? Like, oh my god, the Holy Knights are fighting 900-year-old demons in a different dimension, right? Because we were wondering where they were.
The One Punch Man. Yeah.
Yeah, like what if that's that's kind of like that theory here, but like spun into more like God Valley context. Like, yeah, maybe they are like
Yeah.
sacrificing themselves for like the greater good. And obviously, like Charlos doesn't know. I don't know if
Yeah.
Garling knows, but there's a chance that the Gorosei and Imu know, and that's the whole like mission here. Like God Valley hunting games or hunting games in general, it all has a distinctive purpose. Even the whole thing where they call them rabbits. Maybe back then they sacrificed the rabbits and then they had to move on to something bigger.
You know what's kind of crazy actually is how is Nika born, right? Like, and then you think about what Gunko said she feared the most. It's like maybe if you take a bunch of celestial dragons and they're like, "Yo, I fear Nika," and then that's how Nico was originally created, and it kind of makes sense if it's like you think about like how did the slaves enslaved like come to get their freedom? It would be the oppressors dying. So like maybe somehow Nico was birthed from that, and that's reflected in Gunko's fear, which is like, huh, damn, that's nuts.
We could either be cooking or we could be just dying on this hill.
Yeah.
But hopefully
this
we're
is better
cooking.
than Recycle Cur. This is
A little bit better than Recycle Cur, yeah. But either way, like I said, no matter what, I don't think that the Celestial Dragons will be viewed as like complete bad guys by the end. There's going to be something a little bit redeeming about them.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a little bit redeeming. And then maybe not even the Celestial Dragons, but the original 20. Original 20 Kings and Queens, I think so 100%. Celestial Dragons nowadays, maybe half.
Yeah.
That's where I fall.
Yeah. Something like that.
But so now, on to the last part of the chapter. We got Garp, Roger, and Rox reacting to Emu's haki because, Emu could not permit something being born anew. And Whitebeard shows up right beside good old Roxy Zebek. Rox has just defeated Garling and the Holy Knights, just two Holy Knights, really, that were alongside him. We also got the Davy clan being in the dirt. I worded that whole thing awfully, but it's okay. You guys know what I mean. You read the chapter. And now they're squaring it off against Emu, who is taken over Saturn. Not taken over Saturn in the same way they took over Gunko, mind you. It's like Emu's literally like spawning out of Saturn's topside. Kind of weird stuff. I guess he does want to be in Saturn's body completely. He doesn't want to look like Saturn. I gotcha. And now, Whitebeard's like, yo, what are we facing? And that is where Rock says, if I had to call it something, I'd call it the world. Puts a lot of context on what Rox wants, puts a lot of context on Van Augur, Canary Devon, what Blackbeard's after. Really good stuff here. Love it. Absolutely epic. And then, of course, this isn't the end of it, right? People are like, oh my god, this is so hype. Guys. Big Mom's not here yet. Roger's not here yet. Garp's not here yet. Barbell isn't here yet. A lot more people are going to join in on this battle. And it's going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So I got to ask, when Garp shows up, whose side will he be on? Do you think he's going to help Emu?
It's dubious because it's like at this point he knows the situation. I honestly think like having Garp in this spot is really, I mean, it's already kind of thorny because like, oh, there's so much context in before and after that doesn't feel right for Garp to be here, to be oblivious and all that stuff. But then to now be in the face of Emu, given where the current story's at, he has to be on Emu's side.
I feel like
that's
he
where
has
it's
to.
odd. Yeah, it's odd because it go like we went through the whole thing. Like if it's a monkey family thing to be oblivious to like some of the realities because it's just like happy-go-lucky, he can't do that here. Like I can never see a world where Luffy like acts a certain way. Like if Luffy were here and he saw people dying, he would not bend over. And Garp as a character is seemingly propped up to be like that even here, where he couldn't have saved those people. He's seeing the aftermath. If Oda put us in the situation where he had the option to save them or not, I don't see him as a character turning a blind eye and not like, I think people would have to hold him down. Like Sengoku would have to hold him down. Like that's the kind of character. And it's weird where we're at now. And the only saving grace is that if Emu and Saturn is specifically only fighting Rox and Roger, then Garp may not have qualms with it. Because then it's like, okay, these are pirates. It's fighting just pirates. We'll compartmentalize. And that won't go well with the community anyways, because it's like, you know, it's still like, all right, that's an insane compartmentalization. But like you said, there's another aspect to it, which is that Big Mom's not here. So many other characters aren't here. Rayleigh's running away. So like the Dark King Rayleigh being involved here could make a lot of sense. But I'm more curious about the whole Big Mom goes, Kaido, where did you go? You rat or whatever in after God Valley. And it's like Kaido's front and center. Kaido's the dragon. She knows he's the dragon. And he turns into the dragon, floats in the middle. He's visible. So I'm like, how does Kaido get exited from this? Or like what circumstances Big Mom go like, where did you go, Kaido? And it's like, he's with Rox. And like, where did you go, Big Mom? You know what I mean? It's like kind of odd to where that part is. But to the extent of like, I don't know where we go from here, to be honest. Like, is that Saturn? Is it gonna be Saturn's powers? Is Emu just gonna say like win everything outright? Does Garland come back and scar Whitebeard, or does Whitebeard just honorifically give that scar to? He goes to Shanks. Oh, your dad was on the same island as when I got scarred, and that's why I think of your dad or your grandfather, whatever, dad, when I see you. Or yeah, wait, hold on. Yeah, dad. Sorry.
Yeah, dad.
And so, you know, like, is that like, it's odd because Garling has to get it back up. He scars Whitebeard, I guess, and then Kaido leaves the situation. Does Big Mom substitute him in? And then does and only Rox dies, and then the Roger Pirates just never speak of this. Like is this actually? You know what's funny is like, I think the worst part of this is that the meme of the Roger Pirates not taking Emu on after knowing the world history, the true history, that's coming to reality now because it's not just like they fought the Holy Knights, they couldn't win, whatever. No, Scopper demonstrated that they can. And they might have learned that here. And they're not just seeing Saturn. No, they're seeing Emu. They're straight up seeing Emu, which like to in my admission, there's a theory that I've been working on. And this was not my like, I was like, do they see Emu? And how do they redact that for the rest of their life? Because this is something that I feel like Roger and those pirates, they learned from Laughtail. No, they learned this from God Valley. And it's like Rox is guiding them in this moment. And that's where it's so odd to be in this boat where it's like Emu doesn't need to do this. Gunko is on the island, no? Like Emu could hide their form, but Emu's doing the thing that like the Gorosei literally said to Cobra, you saw the form, you slated this is death penalty. No, it's not. No, it's not. There's plenty of witnesses now. I see pirates, not Whitebeard, I see randos on this island. Some of them probably live too. And we see Whitebeard, Roger, who go past this point. We see Kaido staring this into the face. And they know exactly what's on top.
Yeah. And it's interesting that, like, I'm not saying they have to, but I think it is fascinating that, like, Whitebeard, everybody knows about Emu now. And it's like, they didn't want to go after him. I wonder why. Yeah. Like, that wasn't necessarily ever the goal. Like, is it because they know that's like a mountain they'll never be able to succumb?
Yeah. Whitebeard is specifically... Yeah. Whitebeard is specifically the odd one because, like, he played an interesting game, but like Kaido and Big Mom, they were like, oh, we need ancient weapons. Now, like, that's like justified and all that stuff. But like, some of the other characters are like, what were you doing? And it's like also curious because like after this moment, I feel like it might be easier for them to fight them. And it seems like a lot of characters have the capacity to fight the Holy Knights if the idea is that after this moment, they learn how to fight them. So I don't know. It's an interesting spot to be in. Most of our like this chapter was really valuable, especially what Rox says to things I wanted to say. But we do have a break week, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, a lot of time to digest this, and it's one of those things too where it's like I could easily see Garp and everybody else here. They could see Emu's power. They could see how they potentially like little broed Rox, little broed Roger. And it's like, yeah, like they know they can't beat this like easily. Like that's why nobody goes after Emu, right? Like if they see Rox literally probably top one of the verse right now lose, it's like, yeah, like let's not fight this.
Yeah.
And it's like
loses like that.
Even I mean, Rox when he first met Emu, even the narrator was like, oh yeah, like Rox knew what he couldn't do.
Right.
So it's like so Rox, right now, he's not at the Holy Land. It's not of his own volition. Like he wasn't planning on fighting Emu. There is a chance where even right now, he's still not ready. Like maybe like in 5 years he would have been, but right now it still could have been, quote, too early for him.
Right.
So yeah, it's interesting. And then of course I would love to see how Roger fares against Emu as well. Because I think that's gonna be a big thing. Like Roger, he's not like end game level yet. But yeah. Like, why does Roger never go fight Emu? Does he fight Emu? Does he not? I mean, like I said, Rayleigh, he said that the Roger Pirates, they came to a certain answer after learning everything. What if, going back to the theory we talked about like demons and, these hunting games are kind of necessary, like an evil truth. What if that was their answer? Like, yeah, like they're not good, but I mean, we kind of need them, maybe.
Yeah. Interesting spot to be in.
Yeah.
Thank you, Oda.
Next week, you said that you could see Emu beating everybody here. Do you still believe that?
No, that's where it's odd. Like, I think that Rox is the one who guides everything, and that's kind of like it's hard to put it into a compact way. But I kind of talked about it with the Davy thing. There's certain things that Oda had shown us with Rox that tells me that he was prepared for this moment. It's just that like it's kind of like the idea that like Luffy is saving all these kingdoms, but what comes after? Can they self-govern and all that stuff? And that's where Dragon comes in. Dragon is like more or less like helping the other nations and whatever. And so when Rox is faced with Emu, he maybe it wasn't that like he couldn't do anything, but like more so like even if he were to start a fight here, it wouldn't pan out. Like what would happen? Like nobody knows about Emu. There's no bastion of power that's rising, right? You need a revs, you need a bunch of pirates, you need a bunch of people to start opening their eyes to the thing. As my goat once said, if
Oh my god. The translation.
where's my boy? If I ain't awake and dreaming, then it's all real, right? Like that's the thing. The
that's
whole world
something.
is asleep and believing. I don't know what the antithesis of that is, but point is that like that's where Rox is, and that's where like I think that there's dialogue that Rox had given us that that plays very well to what I was pointing out with the Fraud Valley video is that the version of Rocks that Sengoku gave us was so shoehorned that it made no sense. Like people couldn't like imagine how the fighting went down. How is this guy so powerful that all this stuff like Roger plus Garp fights Rocks like and like the entire Rocks Pirates, like how strong does Roger have to be? How strong does Garp have to be? Turns out that Rocks is a really strong one, and Sengoku omitted the entire faction of power, which is the Holy Knights and Emu showing up, which also plays into that he's not here. And the thing that I was like, that none of the equation that Sengoku put out made sense, especially when we reflect on who the Yonko were. And that's why I had an entire series. It's like, as evil as you want the Yonko to be, they all had like a wholesome familial thing, as weird as it sounds. Like, even as heinous as Kaido was, like, he treated the internal workings of his thing like family. And it's like, and then we get the reality, he was the youngest one there. He had the least rocks time. But you look at Big Mom and Whitebeard, it's an entire family thematic. And then you look at God Valley, like Rox's entire reason to be here is family. Like that's the entire thing, like Davy Clan, all that stuff. And if you taken the Yonko series I put and taken to the nth degree of Rox being so family oriented, you might have come up with the idea that like the D Clan, Davy Clan, all that stuff was tied to him, and that God Valley was attacking his homeland because that's where his family stuff is. But the other part of it is that there's certain lines that Oda gave us that's like the thing that like I think Sengoku was saying is like he's greedy, and it's like he shows up on this thing, and whether you take it at face value, he's like, yo, let's divvy up the treasure, right? And I'm like, that's kind of wild given what Sengoku pushed his image as. The guy that Sengoku put up is not the guy that's here. And I think that goes as far as to what Sengoku said about like he wanted to be king of the world. And when you look at what Oda gave us from this flashback of what Rock says, it's not even close to what like king of the world kind of like means. Like sitting on the empty throne, it would make no sense for what Rox was kind of saying. Like and again, I've said this during the reaction on that chapter. I've said this afterwards when some chatters have brought it up. Like there's been a few times where someone said something. I'm like, I really like what you're saying. I can't say anything more on that. Some people have noticed it, but it's like Rock said a few things that it's like, wait a second, that's not what he wanted at all. And like this chapter pairs really well with what he said in one of the earlier chapters. And I think like more or less the thing that Rock succumbs to is the same thing that Roger did, which is that he's too early. And the nature of what it means to be too early, I don't know, because Rox is just the unluckiest decision maker ever. I don't know if it's unlucky, but like to be like 2 years ago, right when they started deciding God Valley's place, to be like, you know, I chose the safest place, the Davy Clan, to be where my family holds up. And then for this all to happen, it's like, I guess that's just fate, I guess, you know, that's just the way the One Piece world works.
Or we'll
Yeah.
learn that Rox actually wanted God Valley to happen, and he sent Eris there in advance. What if Garling's the one who called Rox up, and Rox was like, "Hey, I know where the Davy clan's at."
Yeah, yeah. No, it's straight up like I was memeing about it. Like when Shamrock when Garland goes, it was fate, Saturn. And then I was like, what if what if the wife's name was Fate? Like Saturn Garling's
Ooh.
wife is Fate. And then she's Davy D Fate.
Hey, that sounds
And
like a One
she's
Piece
like,
thing. You're laughing at it. It's One Piece as hell.
yeah, and then Rox is like, damn it, Fate. I knew we couldn't trust you. Like, and all this time when like Blackbeard is like straight up like, oh, just gotta trust destiny and fate. We find out destiny is the twins.
Another girl.
Because twins are more likely to have twins, I think. So it could be that Shanks to Shamrock's mom is also a twin and is destiny and fate.
Yeah.
Oh.
Funny ass naming scheme.
And we find out that Destiny is Luffy's mom.
And the will of D just stands for the will of destiny.
Yeah, yeah.
Which kind of redundant, but sort of. But yeah, it's just silly.
Yeah, the will of Willie Gallon, or whatever the name was of the physicist. Yeah.
The story narrative.
Yeah, which I guess William is the like William, Richard, they're all Dixon or Dick, whatever. So like I guess you could. The will of Willie would make sense.
For some reason I just thought of like Will I Am from the Black Eyed Peas.
If the Black Eyed Peas showed up in Shaka is he takes out the mask and says, Will I Am? Just that's busting.
Yeah. He fires
crazy.
hell.
Yeah.
So, you know, Sengoku's message of saying that Garp and Roger teamed up against Rox, I don't think that's like impossible still. I still think, I mean, this is a battle royale. I think there does exist a world where, you know, Roger shows up, Garp shows up, and they don't like help Emu per se, but they do like also fight Rox in the meanwhile. Like whoever's in front of them, they're just throwing haymakers.
I mean, the version of it, and this is probably the last thing I could say right now, is like if Emu Dami reverses Roger and Garp, and then like Rox has to just fight them as Dami reverses, then he dies. All right, I'll accept that. You know what I mean?
I mean,
like,
even Eris could get Domi reversed, and maybe that's like the one person Rox can't kill.
Right.
Because like he killed his family, and I think that's fair, pulling Itachi, but even Itachi had like one person he couldn't kill, right? Which was Sasuke. Rox could be the same way, where he's like, yeah, dad, mom, pops, whatever, like they're demons. And then he sees his wife and he's like, well, maybe I can't kill her.
Yeah.
And then he gets cooked.
And that's like that's why the whole nature of trying to fully theorize off of what Sengoku said was so difficult, because even last chapter, I positioned it to you, and we're on both opposite sides of like, you know, like how the world government.
I mean, Sengoku's a very like reliable narrator, so I trust him.
Well, no, whether you trust him or not, it doesn't matter, because of like he's using Big News Morgans, who, you know, was hiding the truth, but then also, one, he's not here. It doesn't matter how reliable you are if you're not here. And then you see how hey, there was a guy, he disappeared and he had a report. Yeah, very reliable Sengoku, right? So like that's why it doesn't matter on Sengoku's front. But like what does matter is that the truth of it is he omitted Emu and he omitted Saturn. And Emu is the character where even last chapter I was like, hey, what if Emu shows up? And you hated that. And I think everyone hates that idea because it takes away from the Holy Knights. And the reality is, once Emu shows up,
it was more so like it was just too soon. I think that's what it was.
Right. No, but my point is that Emu showing up in any capacity takes away from the Holy Knights and repeats an Egghead Elbaf situation where it's like, are the Holy Knights going to be displayed the same way as the Gorosei on Egghead, and are the Holy Knights going to be bailed out of Elbaf just like are the Holy Knights on God Valley going to get bailed out the same way on Elbaf, which is all terrible. But also now it's also Garling got ejected from Elbaf to save his face, only to get his dad or Shamrock's got ejected from Elbaf to save face, but now his dad gets shit faced on
Yeah.
God Valley. And is the reality is everyone just gonna get saved by Emu again. And then the problem is when you bring in Emu, it's basically like a Deus Ex Machina situation where it's like, all right, we're just putting Dami Reversi before Emu gets here. Emu could just do anything. They don't know how to fight Emu. It's just like an unfair like thing. It's like, yeah, of course Rox loses. I'm more surprised that only Rox loses. I'm more surprised that Whitebeard doesn't die. I'm more surprised that Kaido doesn't die. I'm more surprised that all of them don't die, right? Like the fact that Rox is the only notable casualty of the thing is kind of the surprising part. But like the Emu,
He sacrifices himself
is,
for his crew. Would be crazy.
right? No, that's what I think is this
but
situation.
also
It's like I don't think that he loses.
Yeah,
I think that he gives up his life for everybody else.
For Eris or something, yeah. And to go back on the slanderous remark, I always liked the idea of Emu coming. I have a whole video talking about Emu joining, so I never hated the idea. When it comes to Emu
I mean, like,
coming to God Valley,
last chapter to this chapter, that's what I meant.
Oh
Not
yeah,
the
I didn't
entirety of
hate
God
it. It was
Valley.
more so like I didn't think he'd come so soon.
No, but what I'm saying is we go back, right, to our last chapter discussions. And when I bring up, is Emu showing up right now to basically bail out exactly what happened in this chapter, except worse, because Garling, like, dies. That was a hated notion, right? That's what I meant, is like, is Emu showing up next chapter? Well, we'd have to breeze by a lot, and it would also take away a lot from the Holy Knights. That was the main thing. It's like, are we going to get them to have fights? No, Oda off screens Garling's fight with Rox, and Garling loses fantastically.
Oh yeah,
Rox is so unscathed from his Garling fight that he's no worse off than Roger, Garp, and Kaido. Like he looks pristine. Like he looks like Shocky after 2 years of slavery. Like it's crazy. And it's like that's his fight with Garling, and that's why like last chapter was so like 2 chapters from now Emu shows up, 3 chapters, but in 1 chapter that would mean horrible things from the Holy Knights. And that's the reality of it. And so that's where I was like saying, like that's where I'm saying, like, you know, from last chapter now, Emu, you know, and the holistic thing, I think we were panning up to like Emu kind of we were ramping up so goddamn hard for Emu to be here because of how large of a scale this ended up being. At the beginning, we just thought it was the Roger Pirates and Rox Pirates. Now it's like everybody. Like it's crazy. So it's a different world for God Valley right now. But yeah, I do have to go. So
we're gonna go ahead and call it here. We'll be back for 1163, where we see King Harold, Loki, and Ida, and hopefully we get no more of God Valley. I'm sure everybody agrees we've had enough. Let's get back to the Loki flashback, please.
Moment when the Holy Knights, Garling's like, damn it,
guys, the Holy Knights are done here. We can go back to our regularly scheduled program.
Okay. Where the hell is that Yeti?
He's fighting Roger. Where do you think Roger's at right now? Who do you think's holding him up?
Dude. I want to see.
You ask stupid questions, part you get stupid answers. Obviously, he's fighting Roger.
He leaves God Valley and he gives birth to the Yeti Cool Brothers. That's just his entire story.
I cannot wait till we get to the next chapter and Yasop's going extreme diff against the Maffy girl. Like, oh, this is the best marksman I've ever seen. Yeah, just wait, guys. Don't count the boys out just yet. Just wait till you find out that the Garling that Rox defeated was one of his 100 clones. And Garling's up in a tree saying, so Rox defeated 1% of my power, huh? It's gonna happen, y'all.
He's just like chakra release.
yeah, it's gonna be like a shadow clone. Release. And he's like, oh, so Rox can defeat one of my shadow clones, huh? And then behind Garling's like 500 more. Is like, let's see how he deals with this. It's like Madara, right? Oh, Otsuki blocked the first meteor. What about the second meteor?
Yeah, or we see Garling go, Kurama is a time. You just see the 9-tail fox bust out. That'd be nuts.
Oh my god, just wait, y'all. It's the Garling hype, it's never gonna die. But With that being said, guys, check out Par. You know exactly where to find him. He's on YouTube at the Parvision. His theory video is coming soon. Just wait. Any day now, he's gonna drop it. He's been too busy living life. For some reason, he has like a family. For some reason, Par has a house he's working on. Like, nothing makes sense with this guy, but one day he will drop that theory video. You all check him out till then, and we'll catch you guys for the next chapter of One
Dragon
Piece.
Ball.
Yeah,
Peace.
I was gonna come up with something, but I got nothing. Bye bye.